everyone, I'm Chris Barry, and welcome to Red Dwarf 5. We're going to kick off with the glorious Hollow Ship, and we're going to see what memories it brings to the lovely cast.
Hello, I'm Hattie Hayridge.
Greetings, I'm Danny John Jules.
Hello, I'm Robert Llewellyn.
And we all went to RADA.
This is University Challenge.
Sort of like RADA rejects or something.
And we are the RADA rejects.
And we are the RADA rejects.
Oh, my darling, don't. This isn't the time for sadness.
Kate Robbins, that was.
Oh, was
wasn't
it?
it?
I'm sure it was Kate Robbins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving us one of her characterizations.
Oh, hold on, Chris. You're trying to outdo me quiff there, aren't you?
That is a quiff, isn't
That
it?
is a
That
very
is
impressive.
a fuzzy quiff.
That is a very impressive quiff, yeah.
It's happy days, isn't it?
Without the brill cream.
Quite a svelte and slim-looking Crichton. I don't want to sort of, blow any trumpets, but, still slim in these days.
Yeah, very.
Wasn't it just wonderful, though, sir? The way he
And
sacrificed
clean-shaven.
his career, his dreams,
Yeah, well, and clean-shaven, yeah.
woman he
Yeah.
loved.
Yeah, your edges are kind of ringing there.
Yeah.
So was that head, Bobby? Was that sort of the best?
It was
Mark
one of
III
the.
or something?
It was about Mark. Well, yeah, it would have been Mark 3. Yes, it was a much better head.
Was that the
yeah.
8 hours of makeup, or
No,
was
that was down
just
to
the
3 by then.
3 hours?
Yeah, it was much quicker. Yeah.
And, of course, the snazzy H.
The snazzy H,
The
yeah.
snazzy H.
Although I think in this series we go twixt the uniforms. There's a bit
That's
of the
true,
blue,
yeah.
a bit of the red.
Now that is an impressive quiff, Dan. You got there.
Yeah, well,
That's good.
Is that your real hair, Danny?
that was a rug, actually, that one. It's,
That's my real hair.
That's your real hair, isn't it? Hat?
Yeah, it's my real hair.
I'm onto it right away.
Craig, did you enjoy this series? No, not as much as some of the series. It was okay, but it wasn't. It was a bit pony, actually. Some of the other actors were really pony.
Yeah, no.
Particularly this episode. The state of his hair. I'm just going to talk all over him as speeches. I don't want to hear them again.
It's when you can actually hear Craig and then you doing Craig. Your impression of him is actually more realistic, Chris. It's better than Craig
you're
does
better than Craig, yeah.
Craig, unfortunately,
Well, as you may have guessed at home, if you're listening at home, watching at home, Craig is not with us today because he's a little bit poorly. So he's going to appear in 3 or 4 different guises.
Yeah.
And, of course, get plenty of stick.
I think you should take a look at this.
He's going to
We
get
know him so
ribbed.
well. We know exactly what he'd think of everything that happened.
We
11,
know him
12
so
years ago.
well, we know what he's doing now.
Now, this is one of the very rare occasions I was allowed to sit in the front seat. Very rarely that happened.
Yeah.
That was Craig's chair.
Very strange.
Minor flaws. 1, we don't have any defensive shields. And 2, we don't have any defensive shields. Now, I realize that technically speaking, that's only one flaw, but I thought it was such a big one, it was worth mentioning twice.
Nice bit of...
Good point, well made.
Very nicely done, Dan.
I couldn't wait to tap you on the shoulder there, Bobby.
Oh.
Oh, now this is...
Now, those effects, you see, were very classy in those days.
Rimmer, what are you doing?
That was actually Peter Ragg stirring his bath.
Yeah,
Camera underneath, glass bath.
Molecular structure, all
Bit
the
of
readings is...
domestos in there to turn it a little bit blue.
Oh, that's nice.
Sir, I'm picking up some kind of energy emission. They've taken Mr. Rimmer. Sir, they've taken Mr. Rimmer.
Quick, let's get out of here before they bring him back.
I hope we didn't
Oh, my
stop.
goodness me.
Look at her. Doesn't she look marvellous?
You touched me. I can touch. How's this possible?
This entire ship, its crew, and everything on it is computer generated.
You're all holograms, even the ship?
Salute.
Salute.
A
I don't know
computer
if you've met her
generated.
before, but that was the first time I'd ever met her on this. And
Yeah.
I didn't realise she had that really strong Rochdale
incredibly-
accent.
incredibly
I got used
strong.
to it, yeah, I got used to her talking like that.
Yeah.
And then she started talking to me.
Why is she putting on that funny
I
accent?
don't
Yeah.
know why is she talking to me in that funny accent.
It is amazing.
No.
Well, what do you do when you want to have sex?
Well, we go for runs. And watch gardening programs on the ship's vid.
That's very bad for you. Don't you ever feel tense or frustrated?
Well, it's got worse these last 10 years or so, I can't deny it.
Extraordinary. It's quite different here. In fact, it's a ship regulation that we all have sexual congress at least twice a day. It's a health rule.
Twice a day? That's more than some people manage in a lifetime.
Yes,
Yvonne Magruder.
you must forgive me if I'm rendered slightly speechless by watching this back.
Yeah.
Which I know isn't very good
Brings
for a
back
commentary.
happy-
But,
yeah. Brings back happy romantic memories for you. Yeah.
well, I don't know about that, but
Don't lie.
I'm trying to work out who she sounds like. Sort of a bit. There's a hint of Felicity Kendall in The Good Life.
Yeah.
Thrown in with a bit of a handbag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Touch of Maggie Thatcher.
We discarded the concept of family in the 25th century when scientists finally proved...
But she sort of ironed the Northern out pretty well.
She
hasn't
has.
she?
No,
Yeah,
you can't
she
hear
is.
it, can you?
Very ironed the Northern out. That's why I was so shocked when I...
health. So are relationships. These are...
I quite like that H, though, that H with a circle on
It's,
it.
yeah, it's rather classy.
Sort of finishes it off, really.
Yeah. Did you ever get one like that, Chris?
No.
You never had one, did you?
We spent all those years wearing the plain H.
personal advantage.
Dear Doug,
Dear Doug, can you please give me a circular H?
put that koala down and tell me about why we had such a pony H for 13 years. No, I think he always had a level to go to.
Poor Mr. Rimmer. I fear he is in great danger.
Very shapes. They're not responding on any frequency.
Well, I say let's break out the laser cannons and give them both barrels.
An adroit suggestion, sir, with just 2 minor drawbacks.
Okay, forget it.
So, was Pomfrey the lighting man at this stage?
Yeah, it would have been, I'm sure.
Yeah, wasn't he all the time?
Can't you tell you can't see me?
No.
Are you in that? Are you in that scene?
Am I in
Dan?
that scene?
I can hear your voice.
There's a guy with a funny head talking to himself.
Do you know, that's just what prompted me to say it was Pomfrey that we needed a little bit of a pup there.
Up
didn't we?
like what?
But
No one's gonna
quite a
understand what that
difficult thing
means.
to balance between Crichton's head and your head, Dan. It's not
Oh,
easy.
yeah,
is it?
yeah, yeah.
Whenever we did shots together, I always remember it being a problem.
You've whited out and I've gone missing.
Well, all the lighting on your face is reflected off my head.
No, that's right. No,
In fact, a difficult lighting problem, really.
The whole thing, yeah.
no,
When
no,
you got
Bobby.
Dan's
Oh,
skin
no,
and
no.
your...
No, I met him on Camden
Don
High Street on
Warrington.
Saturday. Don, I saw Don the other day.
Where?
Did you?
On Camden High Street.
Did you?
Yeah, I said, Don, how you doing, mate? And he went, all right.
Because I've not made much.
He
Just
went,
I've
and
only
you
been
are...
collecting.
Yes, and you are. Yes, no, he's got such great manner, hasn't he?
Crew 3.
Oh, he was great, wasn't he?
I was just working with him on the crouches.
He's got an iPod. Where did he get that from?
That's that's the iPod that doesn't have dodgy batteries.
Smart. No value in future study of this species.
He did have a certain aura about him, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pony.
What a very clever approximation.
Not really.
Chronological age, mid-20s. Physical age, 47.
I didn't like Don Warrington coming onto the set, you know. He thought he owned the place.
Yeah, he got a lot of laughs. He got a lot of laughs. It wasn't right.
Too many laughs for the guest.
Just because he's in one of those big shows.
Complete smeg pot.
Kind of took your lines,
I
didn't
think
he?
I voiced it at the time, you know.
Chin absent, presumed missing. Genitalia,
This is the
small
one.
and offensive.
When,
Of no value or interest.
he ate the cigarette, didn't he? At the end of this scene.
Who?
Craig, he ate the cigarette. He ate a cigarette and nearly spewed up afterwards.
Could maybe master simple tasks.
Listed to Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Displays evidence of spoiling for a rumble.
That's great. Rumble.
With careful pummeling, could possibly suck in tomorrow's lunch through a straw.
Thanks to enlightenment, the human is under the delusion that he is somehow able to bestow physical violence to a hologram.
Listed to Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
The intruder seems to be blissfully unaware that we have a rather sturdy hollow whip in the munitions cabinet. And unless he wants his derriere minced like burger meat, he better be history in 2 seconds flat.
Thanks to
Eating
Oh, yeah.
You've seen this in the Smeg Outs, innit?
please.
Captain, Mr. Rimmer from the mining ship Red Dwarf.
Mr. Rimmer.
Oh, dearie me, here he comes.
No,
What a
I bumped into
hairstyle.
him
Look
the
at
other
this.
day. He's at the Almeida at the moment. I bumped into him the other day.
What's he doing
In the
this?
calf.
You're not
But
selling
also-
programmes, is
Now we know, you know...
An Edward Albee play.
Commander Randy Navarro.
See?
he? Randy.
fantastic hair.
Oh, dear.
Unknown.
Look, it's Ace Rimmer. Look, there's a couple of Ace Rimmers in there.
Now, do you hear what he's doing? Hugo Weaving in The Matrix saw this show.
The Space Corps.
Listen to it.
Every crew member is the top gun in his or her field. This
Hugo
is
Weaving, isn't
a
it, in
ship,
Matrix?
Mr. Rimmer, of superhumans.
Does he do those
Oh, yeah.
beer commercials?
Must do, yeah.
I feel I could really belong here.
Are you serious?
She was great Russian accent, this
Yeah.
Here
girl.
on this ship. I want to join you.
But, Mr. Rimmer, you are not an officer.
Captain, I've been in effective command of Red Dwarf now for nearly 4
Randy's
years.
looking a bit hot in the background. He's wiped you out, mate. I'm telling you.
Randy.
Acting your socks off, and Randy's just there sucking it all out.
Those guys would crawl on their bellies across
I mean, this
broken glass
actor,
with their flies
Captain,
unzipped.
whatever his name was,
Yeah.
was
Oh,
Mr.
Matthew
Prop Man.
Marsh.
You watch his...
Oh, a beautiful prop
work
work.
with props.
Exquisite.
Captain Platini, you mean?
Captain Platini, yeah.
Oh, he was the heartthrob for all the women on the crew. I mean, the real crew, not the crew there.
There he is. Look at the prop sitting.
Yeah.
The only way in is
Dangling hand.
You'll have to challenge an existing crew member.
You'll have to
challenge
the accent accuracy committee, the RADA for your accent.
Right.
Every aspect of your mental capability.
Oh, get her. Get her.
That was a little bit
That was a little bit. That was a little bit Randy. Hello.
Who will be my opponent?
Well, I'm sure our computer will come up with
Props
the most
again.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work with props. I could never do that.
stochastic capabilities.
It predicts the future with only a 5% error margin, simply by extrapolating the most likely outcome of all known variables.
I think she does very well.
Yeah,
I
you
know
do.
she does.
It is
Very
very
difficult.
good.
And here it is. Your best
here it
shot
is.
is crew
Sounds like
number
Olga Colbert.
4172. You have a 96% probability of failure.
Remember, you have
I don't think I could listen to it all day, though.
No, it could get wearing, couldn't it?
Well, thank you, Commander, for a most fascinating afternoon. It's been most fascinating.
Perhaps, if you're not in any great rush, Mr. Rimmer, we could retire to my quarters and have sex for a few hours.
That was just unbelievable.
It's never been like that.
Dear me.
Yes, well, what a stud.
Well, absolutely. It explains...
I've got more chest hair now than
Have
I
you?
had then.
Nah.
You hadn't been waxed then or anything like that, Craig?
No, I might do now, though.
We must dress and go now.
Oh, dearie me.
Was that your first half nude scene?
Yes.
Ever, in anything?
Actually, I had a bit of a waistline developing there. That was pretty bad.
Yeah,
No, it's just that posture, Chris.
you had a bit of a Hugh Hefner coming on there, mate. Could have been a Hugh Hefner moment. What was that? What was the episode when he got the Hefner out that time? Hey, what was that episode?
We'll see it in a bit, Dan.
It's in here.
He came in with like the old, sort of sheepskin coat with the flat cap.
We usually
Oh, that was...
Was that another show?
Oh.
No, that was in rehearsals.
I'm sorry, I must have seemed very ignorant. I hardly said anything apart from Geronimo.
Classic. Oh,
Hey.
Ah, very nicely done.
Well, I became a master at the standing still
well,
thing.
Commander,
Randy.
yet again,
Stocky has chosen you to meet our guest's challenge.
Stocky. Oh,
Randy.
it's
Oh, I love it.
looks like one of Chris's old watches there. Look.
Is immoral and illegal. Mind patching is outlawed, but it is possible. Possible, but highly dangerous.
That
These
jacket
side effects
is,
can be
like,
devastating. You could
obscene.
be reduced to a gibbering simpleton. Reduced.
You see, that's classic, Dan. There's me with a big speech and you just say one
That's
word.
it. Well,
Typical.
I preferred those days.
Yeah.
Look, on that ship, I can touch, I can feel, I can taste. I'm not a half man anymore.
No way, Remo. Know what you like to
One of the
touch?
bunch of arrogant, pompous, emotionally weird, stuck-up megalomaniacs. Do you really think you're going to fit in with them?
Look, the Matrix going on in the background there, look.
Yeah,
look,
Pie.
Yeah, but the Matrix, it's all copied. Matrix was made
They've
from
been
this...
ripping us off, man, look.
I want to have a position of authority on a scout ship exploring uncharted space. Work alongside educated men and women, officers, people who count.
Oh, stop going on about it.
This is my one chance to seize my dream. To be with the winners. Look at me. What do you see?
Pony. Don't ask that question.
A sad and lonely guy. A guy who left home at 16 to become an officer and a gentleman, and ended up as a chicken soup machine operative. Is it any wonder my father had 4 strokes? Is it any wonder...
Is there a box of Kleenex in here? I'm about to cry.
I guess when I watch this now, I can realise why I haven't been cast in anything else.
Your job. You are your job.
No, not so, sir. Now,
It's your job.
Now, where have you gone at this point, Danny?
I don't know, just
You've gone for
probably
a change of
just
clothing in this
sitting
scene.
there looking good and the camera's not on me.
Wow.
That's it. But I've got to be ready.
You were probably shining too much.
Just in case there was a quick cutaway.
Harry Beetlebaum.
Crichton, Albert Einstein
You
didn't
wait.
spend the best years of his life...
They only
picking
put
out
me on the
lots of
screen when it's worth it.
No wastage.
No.
It does in my parents' eyes. It does in my brother's eyes. It does in the eyes of everyone with eyes. That's exactly what it makes me.
Oh, sir, I beg you to reconsider. If not for your sanity, you haven't even considered the moral implications of your decision. I mean, you will be joining a society where you will be compelled to have sex with beautiful, brilliant...
I couldn't do any props there. I had a long speech, couldn't hold a prop.
No.
But if somebody gave me a prop here, the whole thing would have fallen apart.
Where's the lines written in this one? Oh, there you are, then.
Yeah.
Well, quite clearly, I am.
See, obviously you were dazzling the camera. That's why they didn't show you.
The 2 candidates to be inserted into your mind.
Groundbreaking
Science
stuff.
Officer Buchan, excellent scientific background, 169 IQ.
Oh, the old...
Coordinator McQueen.
What is it I find
Yeah,
fascinating
maybe.
about that last scene I can remember doing? This scene I have absolutely no memory
no
of.
recall of
No recall
none
of
of
any
these.
of this. This bit now, I can't remember doing this.
You're obviously asleep,
Yeah, you were
Chris. That's
asleep.
why. Oh, there
I
you
will
are.
still have control.
You will have access.
I was staring up at Bobby thinking, my God, he's learnt this well.
Ah, yeah. As you were
See,
holding
I
the,
could get some
as
lines
you were
down if I
holding
had
the
to.
cue card.
No, there was no cue cards here.
I'm looking at his eyes and I'm thinking, no, he's looking at me most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of...
Never give a sucker an even break.
Well, if you did,
You don't remember projecting the lines onto your face.
Come on, Crichton, get on with it.
Commencing integration.
Glory or insanity awaits.
He's read every book in the medical lab. In under 3 hours, the change is quite astonishing. But, sir, I feel I should warn you, this is not the pile of human...
Looks like a very long corridor, that.
Arnold Rimmer. Prepare yourself. Sir, we've received the coordinates. Perhaps we should be making tracks.
Oh, I do remember this.
Ah!
Assuming, of course, we're not dealing with 5-dimensional objects in a basically Euclidean geometric universe, and given the essential premise that all geomathematics is based on the hideously limiting notion that 1 + 1 = 2, and not as Astromeyer correctly postulated, 1 and 2 are in fact the same thing observed from different precepts.
The flaring nostrils.
A polydried docdecahui hadron, a hexahedro adicon, a dibidolihedecadodron. Everything else is poppycock, isn't that so?
Really?
I wrote a palindromic haiku
Now-
this morning.
Yay.
I'm afraid we don't speak Japanese, sir.
I could translate it into Mandarin for you.
Japanese, we don't speak Mandarin, and we don't speak Satsuma. He is really beginning to get on my pecs.
You must remember, sir, that he's operating on a completely different level to us now. To him, we are the intellectual equivalent.
I'd forgotten all about this
This
stuff.
is...
Yeah.
You didn't realise how good it was, did it, Chris?
Farewell, gentlemen. Glory awaits.
Can you do that docahedron speech
No.
again for us, Chris?
Go on, do it again, just for us.
Go on, yeah. What is a doctor?
Definitely not.
Oh, this is the multiple keyboard one. I do remember this. I remember watching this.
Don't those computers look really space age?
Yeah.
Initial session. After you've
They
completed
look like the stuff you see on Portobello Market on a Saturday.
I shall undertake both tasks simultaneously if it's all the same to you.
Oh,
Rimmer, that is
dear.
impossible.
Nevertheless, I shall attempt it.
This is the
Oh, dear.
this is the Rick Wakeman of
Yeah.
computers
Isn't
now.
it?
waiting.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey.
Oh, you rushed back in there for a scene with Holly, if I remember rightly. You run in, Chris. You probably don't remember. You run in. Well, you might remember. I don't mean you don't remember.
I remember running in.
Yeah, you run in. And then I know you're asking who he's doing. You go, oh, I need to know this.
I don't remember that.
And then I'm
certainly
going,
not in a voice that high.
yeah, you need to know this. And I'm going, because I'm being a bit touchy that you're not being very polite, I think is the main thing of it.
Well, that figures.
Yeah, so things like that. Oh, nice to see you. How are you? I haven't seen you for a while, and that kind of thing, I think, something like that. It's funny because I kind of remember it, even though it hasn't been in the episode, so I don't know how I kind of feel I've seen it. You know what I mean? Because I haven't.
It's because you're sitting next to the legend himself.
Yeah, that must be it.
Brings it all back.
Yeah. And so that's
Loins
not
start
in there.
twitching and all that, you know.
But I'm sure that's in that bit there. It's probably on the DVD. They do all the edited out scenes, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, there's a damn good chance
Probably on that, I'll
the
see it then.
cutscenes section of this DVD, it's going to be there.
It's going to be there, isn't it?
Do you reckon?
I kind of worry about what will be on the cutscene
yes.
section. I'm slightly anxious about seeing
It was cut because Chris was just oozing too much, you know.
Just oozing
They
too
probably
much.
thought,
That scene
they looked
was
back
too
on
hot.
the show and thought there'd be just too much of
There's
Chris
just
being
too
brilliant.
much heat
Yeah.
coming off of the screen.
Well, no,
You've got to cut
it was the old General
We're gonna have
Post
to
Office
cut
in
it.
those days
Can
were
you imagine-
complaining. The sheer weight of fan mail.
They got
Exactly.
into the edit. Everyone fainted when Chris came and did that scene.
It was either that
So
or the
we can't
nude
have this.
scene they had to
We'll get
cut.
sued.
So.
The nude scene was very popular.
Yeah.
Very, yeah. No, the oiling scene.
Well, the oiling scene.
The oiling scene.
Well, we've yet to
Never
see
yet
that.
See the oiling
No,
scene.
but I'm just warning them in, you know.
Well, I have to warn myself about that.
You must be careful, Chris. Sit slightly further away from the monitor when that's on.
Well, I will. But we've got a cushion before that, I feel, coming up.
Nearly closed down the Johnson's
Yeah, as
factory.
long as you keep that cushion on your lap, it'll be all right.
That's telling you.
No! I'm sorry, sir. There must be something you can do. I'm afraid not. But I'm winning. I'm so close. Who's this? I'm not even gone and you're choosing my replacement.
I thought you weren't coming back.
Well, you should have known better, shouldn't you?
Was that crossing the line there?
Yeah, I think it did. Yes, quite interesting.
Crossed the line.
You crossed the line, didn't you? And suddenly it was all because I didn't know
So
where
I should have been looking back at you that way, shouldn't
Yeah,
I?
because suddenly I was looking the wrong way. I thought, who am I looking at? And then you were looking the wrong way. Then I went, we crossed the line. So
We
there's a
crossed the
classic
line.
example of line crossing.
No.
Juliet may come back. Always forget. No, I think. She might have done this.
She did do this one, yeah.
She did do this. Oh well, Juliet.
So maybe the POV line is actually the POV story is true.
Yeah.
Sometime next week. I'm free
Dear,
Wednesday
dear.
morning.
I'm sorry, I'm busy Wednesday. I'm killing myself.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that again.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah,
that line.
when you're watching the same, wind back and you'll see a bit of line crossing there. Classic problem.
Line.
To hell and back. I've withdrawn from the challenge.
But you're winning.
I was using a mind patch.
A mind patch? Are you insane?
I would have done anything to get on this ship. Every time I look in the mirror, I see this. Only to me, it doesn't mean hologram. It means half-wit. Hopeless. Hideous failure. This was a chance to be somebody. Somebody I liked.
I've never met anyone like you before.
Everyone says that.
Listen to me, mister.
Pomfrey at his best, I think.
Beautifully lit. Beautifully
Lighting up those
Lovely
little boxes
backlighting,
there.
but you still see the faces. Lovely.
Nice two-tone
So
suit.
you won't give up. Okay? Okay?
Craig, you all right? You've been quiet.
Yeah. He's not said much, has he? He's very quiet today.
Hey,
That's
this is Rimmer's show anyway.
It's all to do with Rimmer, you know, because I gave everything to Chris. You know, I was written out of it. By this time, they were bored of me.
I'm saving the observations for some of the other ones. You know,
no. This series was meant to be more dramatic.
I think Hollow Ship was overestimated
Yeah.
anyway.
A lot of
There's,
you know,
there's no gags, so
if
I'm
you
not
actually ask
needed.
the fans about Hollow Ship, they don't like it, because I wasn't in it much.
They don't like it because I'm not giving no gags.
Just because you had your dodecahedron speech, you thought you were great, you know? That's just not true, Craig. Shut up. Shut up again for 15 minutes, will you?
I leave tonight.
They were against me.
Look, I'm not much good at big speeches.
Oh, this is great. This is a classic speech.
I've always been an easy guy to get on with.
And you got the H. You got the circular
I got
H,
the
Chris.
great H, yes.
Get
Probably wouldn't
one.
have chosen you as friends.
Chris.
But I just want to say that over the years, I have come to regard you
You
as
made that up yourself, didn't you, Chris?
I met.
You made all this up.
No, I
love
don't
that
know.
line.
Did
I
I
love
make
that
this
line.
up myself? I
You
don't
made
think
this
I
all
did.
up.
Some people say I did.
You
but,
made this
I've
all
come
up.
to think of you as people I met. I've used that in real life.
Apparently,
Great. Look.
it is a good line, isn't it?
Look, look, there was a big argument. The office was all rumbling, and you came out and did your own line.
Yeah, well,
basically.
There must be some mistake. These are Commander Crane's quarters.
Oh, didn't you know?
Oh,
she was your opponent.
Oh, Randy, thanks for that news.
So where is she?
Here at Props. Prop City. Here he is.
Here
He's
he is.
fiddling
He's
with his
gonna be
props.
doing some props.
Oh, he's great.
He's thinking,
He was so good in this.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
I trust everything's to your
Permission to speak, sir. I wish to resign my commission, sir.
Resign. May I ask your reasoning, please?
Flight Commander Crane has taken leave of her senses and fallen in love with me, sir.
Love? Surely not. Commander Crane is far too intellectually advanced to submit to a mere short-term hormonal imbalance.
That's why she withdrew from the challenge and allowed me to win, sir.
Mr. Rimmer, what you are suggesting is that somehow she cared more for your happiness than she did for her own life.
Am I? Yes, sir. I suppose I am, sir.
And now you are doing something equally unfathomable, resigning so that she can be reinstated, even though here you could have everything, a position of command.
Was that kind of hair quite popular in the early 90s? Or?
I don't think it was. No.
In America it was.
In America it could have been, yeah.
Gesture, but really your
I
resignation...
don't think it was his normal hairstyle.
Wasn't it?
Well, it looks like it.
But even his hairline
I mean,
looks
not
like the guy
brushed
from
like
Matrix.
that.
Yeah,
Not-
it's
not
very
brushed
like Hugo
like
Weaving,
that.
isn't it?
Hugo's just like that.
He's
His
just seen
hairline
this.
is
Hugo
exactly
was at
the
home
same.
one night, saw this, and went, that's how I'm going to play in The Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Australian, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, English.
No, he's Australian.
He's
Hugo Weaving is.
Australian.
Oh, this guy's English, yeah.
He's
Yeah, I bumped into him the other day.
No, we're talking about
I know I've
Matrix, not
said
Red
that
Dwarf.
before, but I bumped into him the other day.
Well.
That looks like...
Yeah.
There we go.
Very blue, this episode.
Very blue, wasn't it? A lot of blue.
A lot of blue. I think it had a lot to do with the
Jane Horrocks. I used to drive her in every day because she lived around the
translucent-
corner from me. Just to give her a lift in my old Golf.
Transparent, sorry.
Thank
Okay.
you very much, Robert. Can you do Jane Horrocks, Chris?
She taught us like Rochdale hard, doesn't she, most of the time?
That's right.
It's like...
Yeah, I'm doing the Red Dwarf at the moment.
The Red Dwarf with that Barry.
There was one rather alarming thing she said, which was, do you get on with the rest of the crew, Robert? And I went, yeah, they're really good. Oh. That was
Did
it.
they all
That was
talk
it.
about you?
That's the only sex scene I've ever seen
Yeah,
her
they
do.
didn't show the bit in the middle, did they?
Have you seen her do it? She doesn't do
Was that
sex
all right? Was there
scenes,
anything
does she?
usable in there? Well, this is Robert Llewellyn introducing the next episode of Red Dwarf. This is The Inquisitor, which was
And this was
recorded in 1991. In fact, the week of the 8th of November, 1991.
Very much your show, Bobby.
Well, you say that, you see. I always saw it as an ensemble piece of work there, Chris.
Well, we didn't.
Tour de force
we
by
actually
Bobby,
hated
all
you,
alone in Sheppertoni, Llewellyn.
I think
Yeah.
I wore out a fair amount of flooring learning the lines for this
There was
particular
plenty
episode.
of talking about you in the breaks, Bobby.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Can he really pull it off?
Lots of chat like, who does he think he is, man? And look at the way he's walking up and down the corridor.
Of course, this has lovely Jack Doherty in it, doesn't it, this show?
Yeah.
Yes.
There he is.
But who was Thomas Allman?
Yeah, I don't know.
Another great lighting
Yeah.
Who's that?
rig, I think, by Mr. Pomfrey.
The void you occupied in the space-time continuum will be
Who is this
allocated to a person who was never given...
What, Thomas Allman or...
No,
James Cormack. Is that him? No?
Oh, yes, there
It
he is.
is,
Yeah, James Cormack.
Why me? There must be others who live
Who
we
was...
probably never even met him, did we? We must have done.
Oh, no, we did.
Yeah,
I
he would have been
remember.
at the read-through, wouldn't he? I wasn't there that... Oh, I see. Yes,
No,
that's
we did.
right.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, hey.
to delete your physical form.
James Cormack, also Pierce in The Elephant Man.
Sorry to disturb you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was very philosophical, quite
Yeah.
scared me.
Oh, it
I have
was.
to
It was
say.
a scary one,
If you
wasn't
don't use it, have a fulfilling, proper
Life,
life.
you get erased, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I used to like the philosophy bits in it.
Coffee, sir. Double caffeinated, quadruple sugar. Nice one.
Yeah.
Virgil's Aeneid. Oh, the
Looks like another dark
Very
episode.
underrated philosophy bits of Red Dwarf,
Yeah, I know.
I think.
Some people do mention it, though. Some people do occasionally
Yeah.
say...
Philosophical.
Yeah, there's a lot of philosophy in it.
It's good though, man. It's absolutely full of history. Zap, pow, kersplat, die in bed, you Trojan pig dog, guignard.
Because that's not an example of the philosophy.
It's Craig without his hat on as well.
Don't discourage him. It's the only thing he's ever read that doesn't have lift-up flaps.
Very good lines. Very good
great
lines. Has to be mentioned. Every now and then, I think we should mention the fact that the writing was rather good.
Yes.
I think it was.
Yes.
I've always said that.
Yeah.
No, brilliant
And
stuff.
Zap and kersplat and the Trojans for the best part of a decade, yeah. So all of a sudden they wake up one morning and the Greeks have gone. And there outside the city walls, they've left this gift. This tribute to their valiant foes. A huge...
That's actually quite an extreme haircut Craig's got there, isn't it?
That's
With
what
the
I
old
said.
short back
Sort
and
of
sides.
very
yeah.
Grace Jones, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it does look a bit
Craig
like
Jones.
Grace Jones.
Are you telling me that not one Trojan goes, hang on a minute, that's a bit of a funny prezi? What's wrong with a couple of 100 pairs of socks and some aftershave? No, they don't. They just wheel it in and all decide to go for an early night.
Lovely parting you've got there, though, Chris.
Well,
That's very
watching
Watching this scene, there's an awful lot of me sulking as
Yes.
opposed to Rimmer.
Well, that's
you know,
yeah.
sort of Chris Barry sort of saying, "Oh God."
Yeah.
Kind of look. I'm sure there is there somewhere.
And this is one of those speeches which Craig picked up the script for about a minute, dropped it, lost it, trod on it,
went
put
to
it in a
the bar.
puzzle, and then knew it all, and mine, and everybody else's.
Yeah.
Ah, a bit of rumble acting there, that was good.
We've changed course.
Are you sure, Holly? There's no course change programmed.
Oh dear.
Mark 180. That's a complete turn. We're heading back to Red Dwarf.
Give me manual help.
The old change course acting became good at that eventually, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We could do good shuddering, couldn't we?
Nothing on the local scan.
This isn't possible. There must be.
I'm in possession of a human known as Lister. Do not attempt to resist.
Craig after a triple brandy.
Who are you?
Tranquil and fine.
You know what?
What's that?
The Inquisitor.
Your vessels are
This is when I had my abscess.
Oh, was it? That's right, you did. You had a terrible abscess.
This is
it
when I had my
scene?
abscess. Do you remember?
So you only shot from
They
one
shot
side?
one side.
That's
Well,
right.
they're obviously putting the
I just
laser
looked at my
treatment.
face there and I thought, hold on, he's got dropsy.
Yeah.
What was involved in the abscess?
Look,
Danny?
you can
Was
look
that-
at my face on the right hand side.
There.
Yeah, a bit of a lump.
There's a big abscess in my face.
Oh.
Right.
I was a soldier, Chris. I didn't
He
complain.
didn't care. He didn't care. He still came into work,
I was
even
a
though he was in
soldier,
pain.
mate.
Yeah, I remember that, Dan.
Yeah.
Very
Because
impressive.
it was supposed to have
Didn't
been
have a day
it was
off.
supposed to have been taken out, but because it had been infected, I had to wait 2 weeks. So we was filming for like 2 weeks, and I was just like, you know,
I do remember that,
on the
yeah.
off time, I used to be laid across the seats in the audience. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, is that because of the abscess?
Yeah, I was delirious.
I thought it was the absinthe.
Yeah, exactly. The night before. Absinthe, that's dangerous stuff, that.
Said you're blind.
All the old famous Titan Hilton blanket Craig is wrapped in. I know props. Craig breaks them.
He finally reaches the conclusion.
Is this the one where they...
Are you in there, Danny, at the top of that leopard skin thing?
I'm around this. It's another dark episode.
Rome's eternity, visiting
This is the Dark Crystal.
I think it is a prop I'm holding, but I'm just holding it in one position. I can't move it, Chris. Once I'm talking, I can't move a prop.
But it was very popular in the series, wasn't it? There was
Yeah.
lots of fiddling about with
There's
it.
quite a
In
lot of
this
props.
lighting, Bobby's the only one we can see, innit? Look, his head is like, here I am.
He prunes away the wastrels, expunges the wretched, and
Is your suit really as glittery as that?
Yeah, it is. It's very metallic.
I've never noticed it being glittery before. Oh, metallic, yeah, rather than glittery.
Yeah. Yes, I'd like to say metallic.
you'd like to say metallic.
It's not glittery.
Not glitter, I thought it was glittery.
Yeah, no, this one's not glitter, love.
That's not glitter.
Well, let's face it, Listy. Lying on your bunk reading What Bike and eating sugar puff sandwiches for 8 hours every day is unlikely to qualify.
Just because a little rim of smirk.
Tag that scene.
I think that was borrowed from another show that I did.
What reaction was that, Chris? Was that a 2B or a 1B?
That was a British 1A.
Was it? 1A? Okay.
Very rarely do the two characters
Yeah,
cross into each
no,
other.
that's
but
true,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm afraid that occasion they do.
This before. If I'd been told about this at the start, that the object was to lead a worthwhile life, I could have done something.
Yeah.
You've got to think about the lighting problems that Pomfrey had.
Oh, huge.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I always...
Because anything that would light you well
would mean I would bleach out.
Overexpose him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Badly.
yeah.
You should have
at
just
the
had a
BBC,
little...
they call it the Blue Peter syndrome.
And what happens in the
true.
Blue Peter syndrome?
No.
Can you explain that to us?
Well, that's because they had a white presenter and a black presenter, and they were always in torment.
About
because it was
to pin up and light up.
A case of not having the right.
But very often, if you and I were in a scene together, they'd have to give you a little gobo, little gizmo, didn't they, just to bring you up?
A torch? Didn't they give you a torch?
The audience don't realise these difficulties, you see.
No.
A little
They think it's all walk in and walk out, you see. They don't realise that John had 2 triple heart bypasses.
God, you can totally understand why.
Trying to see me.
Yeah.
You know?
Beautiful model shot there.
Beautiful
Look at that.
model
Lovely.
shot.
Look at that.
There you go.
Bit of dust coming out, a bit of French chalk out the bottom. Marvellous.
So where is he? See me now and tremble.
Oh, that's bright.
Yeah.
Acquisition begins. Prove to me you are worthy of the honor of life, or drink deep.
I think model shots against CGI.
See, I still go for the models.
I'll go for the models every day.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time.
CGI has become more and more bland. You see it everywhere. You can do it.
Yeah.
It's really easy to do, isn't it?
The
I need a proper
documentaries,
model.
they've
Yeah,
gone mad on
everybody uses it,
documentaries now with that.
You have been granted the greatest gift of all.
That was a hell of a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it a mask?
It's Norman. It's Norman. I'm
Norman
sure
Lovett,
it's...
come back to Burgess.
No, he sneaked in the back door, didn't he? Actually, I think Norman was in Aberdeen now, wasn't he?
What gives you the right to ask?
He what, wasn't he?
No, Edinburgh
Oh,
for a
he
long
went
time.
to
No, he's in
Edinburgh.
Clapham now.
Yeah.
No, but at the time, didn't he move up to Scotland?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Edinburgh
yeah.
for a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
All must answer to the Inquisitor.
Apparently, they wouldn't give him a bus pass.
This is Jack Doherty. It's, I think, his finest hour, really. I mean, he had his chat show for a long time, didn't he? But
Yeah.
I loved the advert for that. 10 o'clock, Jack on. 11 o'clock, Jack off. Remember that poster? I thought that was very funny.
I don't remember that.
When that was first on, that show.
Oh, was it?
Everyone is judged by their own self?
It's a bit metaphysical, I know, but it's the only fair
See,
way.
this is real
What
philosophy
I like
here.
is the sweat around the H there, Chris.
That doesn't look like you in there. It looks like Dawn French.
In my heart, I've always tried.
Hattie.
What? It does look like her.
We have been getting on very well so far.
Dawn French.
Much as Dawn is a lovely lady.
Much as I respect the lady comic genius. That's the first time I've been compared to the great lady before.
Rat-hearted green discharge of a man, aren't you?
Well, sort of, yes.
So then, justify yourself.
What else could I have been?
Did you remember doing this, Chris? Can you remember this? Because we wouldn't have been there for that. It would have been that one of those great times when we could go and lie down.
Right.
While you were doing this.
Yeah, I do remember vaguely doing it, yeah.
Lot of work.
Not doing it vaguely, you don't mean? You mean vaguely doing it?
I remember vaguely the memory of doing it.
Hi, buddy.
Now, how's your face in this bit?
I gotta be cruel.
How's my face?
Yeah, your abscess.
Hearing you on FM.
Does he look like Dawn French as well?
Dawn, no, I'm Lenny.
I've given pleasure to the world because I have such a beautiful ass. Can I go now?
They liked that line, didn't they, the fans?
Yeah.
Some might say that's a pretty shallow argument.
Some might say I'm a pretty shallow guy, but a shallow guy with a great ass.
Sometimes you astonish even me.
Thank you.
Well, Crichton, justify yourself.
I don't remember doing that at all. I must have had that thing on the top of my head.
Look,
Yeah, you got
you had 2 masks on that,
the
though.
mask and
We
the
got
helmet.
3
just to get
masks.
extra
The
hot.
man in the mask in the mask.
And the Inquisitor mask on top of that.
I do come not out of fine
So
motives.
you got your mask, the
Yeah,
crash
and then
helmet,
crash
and the
helmet.
Inquisitor.
Oh, it's lovely.
No,
It would
and
have
the
been very
Inquisitor
warm.
mask on top of that.
Yeah.
Well, then how can any mechanical justify himself?
Now, could you keep your head up?
God, it must have been murder. I was so tough. on
Must
that
have been in a sort of harness.
Hey, what?
That independently. Your argument invites deletion. The rules are yours, not mine. Do you wish to be erased? Well, I am programmed not to wish for anything. I serve. In a human, this behavior might be considered stubborn. But I am not human. And neither are you. And it is not our place to judge them. I wonder why you do.
Enough.
Here we go.
Well, fancy seeing you here.
That's a good line.
You know what you could have made of your life.
I had the best lines in this show anyway.
Yeah. No one noticed.
That's why I turned up.
You've got brains, man. Brains you've never used. So? Spin on it.
He looks a bit too young and fresh there, man.
Yeah.
I think Craig edited his down, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That was
not
very
say
good.
all that. Yeah, don't need to say all that.
You have failed to become that which you might so easily have been.
Who is it?
You have lived without merit.
Oh, this was where, in the outtakes, innit, when we started taking the mickey out of each other. Do you remember that shot?
You scum! You've wiped them out!
Sir.
It's crazy, Crichton. It's erased the cat and Rimmer.
They are quite safe.
Sir.
That laser treatment must have helped your abscess at
No,
least.
it would have done, wouldn't it, Dan?
Yeah. Definitely took the pain away, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, these were good. The boots.
No, I don't think these weren't the.
That's not the. Was it the English?
No, that was the. What were they called? The.
That's what I always get muddled up between
yeah.
this one and whatever that one is.
Yeah, that other one with the boots in it. Injustice, yeah, the patrol, not the patrol boots, the escort boots.
Escort boots. Yeah.
Ah, there we go in the big bubble.
The big surgically removed from time. Every memory of us, every action we ever.
Injustice that's the one that it's your tour de force.
Yes.
This is a team effort.
This is a big team
Yeah, I
effort,
know, I
Chris.
get
Yeah,
those two
exactly. I
muddled
was going
up.
to say because they had a big speech in Justice. Yeah,
Once
but not in
again,
this
my
one.
limited knowledge of
Yeah.
Red Dwarf
All things that are
series
dwarf.
has been exposed. I do apologise, not only to myself and to the cast, but also to the audience who are now listening for being such an idiot at the beginning of this commentary and indeed anywhere else.
Perfect. Now, what did I do next?
You waited for another visual.
Right. Now, hurry! Take the gauntlet and go!
The smeg is going on.
I don't have time to explain. I've come from the future to rescue you. Now you must go. Hurry! What about me? I mean, you. I mean, us. I'm afraid we get killed. Killed? How?
Something's moving in the back of the picture.
While I'm standing here explaining this to you,
Yeah.
the prisoner jumps me from behind like this.
Oh, it's a character.
Oh, that's right. I do remember
In the
this.
storage bay, you must have decoded the gauntlet's control. How?
He's trying to squash your head.
Yeah, he did push quite hard.
Did he push
yeah,
hard?
He's
Yeah.
quite strong, Jack.
Oh, was he a bit rough with you,
He was a
Bobby?
bit rough with me. He crushed we crushed the scenery.
That's just scenery.
No,
It's quite realistic, isn't it?
No.
That looks really real.
It was relatively uncomfortable.
It looked
yeah.
like a lot of latex
Do you have to
being
go
squashed
another-
against some harder
Yeah,
latex.
unfortunately, there was a face underneath it.
Oh,
That's
don't
the only
spoil
problem.
the effect now.
Did you film that last? Because I don't think the mask would
Yeah, I
have
don't,
been workable
we must have done,
afterwards.
mustn't we? Yeah. Because this stuff would all have been shot without the audience there, then, wouldn't it? All that sequence, I would think.
Yeah.
All the
That
dashing
would have been
about
pre-shot.
dark
Yeah.
corridors, yeah.
It's us all.
Please state your name and clearance code.
Oh, yeah. Now, there is a speech
I
here that
remember
I haven't
saying
got any
that.
memory of at all that is
This
pinned
is
on the
the
back
one-
of Craig's head,
Yeah.
isn't it?
This was in
I
the
think.
smeg up.
A speech you didn't have any memory at all
on the day
at the
or
time.
now.
Right.
Didn't Craig keep getting it wrong as well?
No, I think he was all right. No, because I actually had the script pinned to the back of his head, which he said
At
was
one
quite
point,
painful.
and it fell off. Do you remember?
I'm not sure if this was the scene, but
How could he
That
read
was
it if
it.
it was pinned to the back of his head?
he's got
No,
eyes in the back
that's
of
where
his
the
head.
problem was, obviously.
Thank God it's you guys. Move so much as an eyebrow.
Yes.
So there we go. I made all that effort to learn the line, forgot it, had to have the thing, and then they cut it anyway.
They cut it anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
For that one, Bud, he read it on your uniform.
Sir, they've never met us before. We are limbo people between realities. They have no memory of us.
So, I'm going to ask you one more time. What do you want?
Yo, we're not the enemy. There's a guy around here somewhere, wandering around obliterating people from history. We used to be your shipmates.
Only we've forgotten you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm convinced.
Wasn't there a gag with the Tony Curtis film?
You'll know I'm the kind of
Is it? With the two
What,
being
I
chained
am-
up?
Astro ex-marine.
Yeah,
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
You say something
that
like
one?
being chained up like Tony Curtis and, and Sidney Poitier.
In,
Don't you remember that?
16 years of age.
I think it was in
There's
this,
a
yeah.
gag in this, I'm
something,
sure.
From something like Spartacus or something, one
No,
of those
no,
movies.
it wasn't. It was from that.
What's that one?
They keep
Oh,
doing it on
oh,
ads,
God.
adverts now and everything.
Yeah,
Two
Men on
came
the
running
Run.
or something.
I know that Jake Abraham's going to come in fairly soon.
Yeah, where does Jake come in then?
As a second lister.
And he was very good, wasn't he? He was very good, very funny man.
Yeah.
Lovely guy.
Classic line. Who would just make you?
Two bit part actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
J. Rimmer, BSc. And BSc stands for Bronze Swimming Certificate.
Didn't he actually change it on the day? Don't you remember Jake's joke? Do you remember Jake's joke?
Yeah.
He goes, hey, what are you doing there with... He goes, what are you doing there with those actors?
Yeah.
Sirs, you've got to help us. The Inquisitor will stop at nothing to obliterate us.
Who the smack of these guys?
Oh, classic. Classic.
Mind who the smack of these guys? Who the smack of you?
There you go.
I the smack of Lister?
Of course he's the ultimate.
Yeah, that's the Spartacus, isn't it?
Yeah.
I the Smegum Spartacus.
Yeah.
So we're kind of spams-in-law.
Yes, sir.
The way he looks at Craig.
Look at that,
They
Crichton.
waste them.
Freaky.
Really, for smack's sake.
Such a dog, man.
What are you telling me?
Look, they come here with some cock and bull story. They're chained together like Sydney Poitier.
Oh, it is it?
That's it.
There it is.
Sydney Poitier.
Delivered with venom.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that film? Someone said about that film the other day.
Isn't
They
it?
did a remake
It's
of
that
something.
one where they do... They were gladiators, weren't they?
There's an
No,
advert
no,
right
not that
now.
one.
There's a
There's
advert
another
on
one.
television right now as we speak with a
Trans Am
Wheel Arch Nostrils, a great one.
It's not the free...
Defiant Ones.
Defiant Ones.
The Defiant Ones.
I'm anxious that some of the younger
Why
members of
did
the audience
someone
won't know
say
what a
that to me
Trans Am
the
is
other
as well.
day?
Trans Am, the classic American car
Trans
from
Am,
the
the
1970s.
Pontiac Trans Am.
Yeah.
is
Do you remember this scene?
A fine American car, which in the 80s, in fact,
Oh,
was popular
God,
over
yeah.
here.
It was, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. I've been in a Trans Am.
Still is, man.
Amongst
If you get one now, it's in good condition, man.
And this one was filmed in the old pumping station.
Oh, that's great, that
Sunbury,
pumping
wasn't it?
station.
Look. Oh,
A little bit of comedy running there.
Classic Crichton run there, look.
No, this isn't the one with Nicholas Ball. What's
No,
that?
no.
That
We
is
did film that in the
is
same place, though.
Justice, yeah.
That was Justice, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I like that one.
I always get that one muddled up.
The shoveling.
Oh, that's the one where you hit yourself instead.
Get down to the transport decks.
Everything you do hurts
Look, here
yourself.
they are, the Defiant Ones, look.
I know, this is the scene. Surely this is the scene where No, I keep thinking I'm going to go find this.
Sir, look, I'm going to do something now, Crichton. That's totally gross. I don't want you to look. Turn around. Oh, what? Trust me, you don't want to
Turn around, you're going to get whacked.
Oh, yeah.
Logically, sir, there is only one way you could possibly have opened that door. I feel quite nauseous. Where is it?
Where's what?
Oh, sir, you...
Whose hand
Craig
was
does
it?
do great sort
Whose
of-
hand was it again?
It was Jake Abraham's hand, wasn't it? Because he's just been killed. So not his real hand.
Well,
obviously.
yes.
Sick person.
Yeah.
How can you possibly even conceive of such an idea?
Shut up. Beat you to death with the wet end.
Oh. Sir, if mechanoids...
He does such great innocent...
Yeah.
I think Craig does the best, cheeky schoolboy. I haven't set fire to my desk, so honest.
But maybe that's been his,
I think it is.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Oh,
Why am I trying to get out
special
of it?
steel.
We already know we fail.
Not so, sir. All we know is that I died. Now, if my small...
I gave...
Well, maybe, Craig, is that really you, that innocent kind of acting? You that kind of... How do you do it so well?
What do you think?
You guys do not know me. Don't pretend you do.
You
don't
can't
know
buy
me.
it at RADA.
It's just a mystery that I give to a performance. You know?
Saving my own life as a chronically depressed lemming.
I gave Craig and Jake a lift home in my old 1969 car.
You still got that lovely
No,
car?
I had to get rid of it.
Why did you have to get rid of it?
Because it never went anywhere.
Yeah, it was a bit temperamental, wasn't
I spent more on repairs than I did on I spent 30 quid. When I was doing my accounts, I spent 30 quid on petrol in a whole year.
It's too small.
It never went anywhere.
It's only because
It
it's
never
too small,
started.
innit, hey? No
But I
nookie
gave-
room in it. Eh?
Yeah, no, there was a lot of
loads of
there was a
nookie
lot of
room.
room.
No
in
nookie
there.
room in one of
Leather
them.
Spacious
seats.
vehicle.
But I gave Craig and Jake a lift back,
Right.
and we got stopped by the police because I was speeding.
You
And
tearaway.
and the bloke was a Red Dwarf fan. The policeman was a Red Dwarf fan.
So you got
Good.
off.
And he looked in the car and he went, "Oh, Holly." Then he went, "Oh, Lister." And then he looked to the back and saw Jake. He
Who
went,
are you?
"Oh my God, another Lister."
Wow.
And he said, "Well, if you can drive a spaceship, you can drive this old thing." And he just
He let you go?
Yeah.
God, that's something. Because I got stopped once
That's
in my
great,
Land
isn't
Rover
it?
and the guy said, "Oh, I love Red Dwarf, will you sign this?" And I signed an autograph for him. My kid loves it. Oh, and I had to write it out, Little Johnny, and like that. And then he gave me a ticket and I had to sign that as well.
Yeah.
So he didn't let me off.
Oh,
But I was doing 42 at a 30-mile-an-hour limit. I know that's over the limit, but not in a built-up area.
You should have said, I'll sign this only if you do give me anything else to sign.
Yeah.
He's a charming policeman.
Well, I've had a policeman take back a ticket.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, how
See?
about that? don't know who you are, but we've seen enough of the other dude to know we want to be on your side.
You killed our 2 crewmates in cold blood. He's a monster.
I'm the cat. This is Rimmer.
Yeah.
Part of your acting rubbed off on me there, Danny.
Did it? You started to do that cough. Yeah, because I did as well. Yeah, because we had to do it, man. It's
Do you? How is it that you should do
Are you blaming me, Chris, or thanking me?
I'm thanking you.
Oh, for a minute, I
thank you for some of your
you know,
greatness.
hold on. I thought if I drew you into a false sense of security, you know, and then people said, "Oh, you were crap," then, you know, I would have taken the blame.
No, in rehearsals day 2, I thought, that is rather good. That's the way to do it.
Well, we were meant to be sort of frightened, you know. We're the 2 cowards.
I love that suit, though,
And
Dan,
I
you
love
got on
that
there.
suit, yeah,
That suit is very
very
smart. You should
fetch.
get one like that. The old tartan job.
That's is it? It's either Moschino or Michiko, if I remember rightly.
Oh, what? Was it? Oh, right, was it?
Yeah.
Mac Moschino and Mac Mochico.
Yeah.
If I wore it, you can't wear
Yeah.
it frightened.
That's it. The one.
And the Moschino tartan.
Yeah, chicken.
Yeah, chicken Moschino. Chicken soup Moschino.
Now, what did?
Look, now here's the dudes. Here's the dudes.
No, Hannibal Lecter steal that mask or what?
I mean, Jack wasn't getting a lot of FaceTime in this particular show, was he?
No.
He can't walk down the street now without being recognised from Red Dwarf.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but look, if you look at all the names that guest starred in our shows,
Oh, yeah.
how comes they're all massive and, you know...
Oh, look at this little fella. So there's Jack one day. He comes in, he goes, "Oh, I've been offered a part in Red Dwarf. What a great privilege. I know Robert Doug," except obviously he would have done that in slightly
One
Scottish accent.
slight drawback. Yeah, we would have done a Scottish accent.
Slight
more northern
drawback.
likely.
That's
Or this was a Scoto-American accent he decided to do in the part, was it,
Yes.
for some of the time anyway?
Scoto-American. So then he turns up and they go, "Yeah, Jack, yeah, we're very happy to have you on. Put this on, shut up, do your lines."
And don't
And when do I take the mask off? Oh, there's a scene. You take the mask off. Yeah, there's a scene, yeah.
There wasn't, was there in there?
Well, there was a
Yeah,
scene.
there was a scene where he took it off. I remember it happening.
And
Where
it
is
was
it then?
indeed in the cutscene section.
That's
of
it.
the
It's going to be in
film.
the cut scene, so you
but
will actually see Jack.
That happened in Flash Gordon, didn't it? You know, what's his name?
Peter
from Depart-
Wingard.
Peter Wingard.
He was
And he used to
saying,
come in
"Now,
every day and
it's
say,
the
"Can I
time
take
I
the
should
mask
take the
off?"
mask off
No,
and
no,
reveal
no, no.
who it is."
No,
And
no,
I
no.
go, No, I think I
No.
like the mask. I like the mask. Keep the mask
We
on.
can get into this mess we're in now in the first place.
So was Doherty a bit upset that he didn't have any FaceTime in
I
this?
don't think he was. I don't
No,
think it held him
everyone
back, do
was
you?
just pleased to be in it, weren't
He's
they?
probably
I
laughing
don't
out of
think
his
they
head
ever-
now.
Yeah.
Thinking, look at those old guys still
Yeah.
doing Red Dwarf.
Then what's he doing there?
Don't know what he's doing now. I mean,
He
he
had
did
his
his
own
show.
show,
He had his
didn't
own
he?
show for years on Channel 5, didn't he? The
Chat
Chat
show.
What's
And
his
then he's
name?
done other.
What's his
He
name?
writes a lot of stuff. I mean, he's always
Yeah.
writing stuff.
They're all divas in this series, all the
Oh,
guest artists. McGowan. I think McGowan was a warm-up man. Alistair
I
McGowan.
don't remember him doing warm-up. I remember getting Lee Hurst in to do a lot of the warm-up.
Yeah.
Tony
Alistair
Hawk.
McGowan.
But I
Now
don't remember the
He's got one of the
others.
biggest shows on telly, isn't he? McGowan.
Oh, yeah. Alistair McGowan's brilliant.
Oh, well, we're not bitter anyway.
A lot of my friends this afternoon.
Craig doing a bit of Clint work.
Lee
you
Hurst
remember
said
that?
to me that getting him to do the warm-ups for Red Dwarf got him on the warm-ups for Have I Got News for You, and then they saw him on that and put him on They Think It's All Over. So,
Right. Oh, well, there you go.
Everyone
so
went-
we was the
Everyone went on to do
start.
great things.
It was our fault, was it?
Actually, I remember this scene. I remember getting a bit of vertigo doing this. We were right up in the gantry in that pumping station, weren't we? It was really high up.
Don't talk for a guy who's scrambling over a chasm.
Yeah,
don't
look
know
at that. That was high.
Sometimes I went there, sometimes I didn't. I don't suppose I went there this time.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do a lot of location work.
Didn't you? You
No,
yeah,
I
you
never
got
went
to
on
do that, did you?
location, no. Sometimes I went for the sadistic pleasure.
Yeah.
No. I intended to save your life.
Oh, John Doherty, is that him being posh then?
No, that's his real name, isn't it? I think he is
John
really John.
Doherty,
Although I've
yeah.
never called him John when I've met him. I've always
Jack.
called
I've
him
never
Jack.
seen him as Jack Doherty.
Maybe
Maybe
it's-
because it was a dramatic part. I thought he was
Usually it's
John
because someone
Doherty.
else in Equity's got the same
Yeah, it would have
name.
been in the olden days.
I bet
yeah.
if you look up Equity, there's probably already a
John Doherty, yeah, there will be. Yeah,
Sounds like a footballer's name, actually. John Doherty.
John Doherty,
What,
yeah,
about, what
maybe,
does
I
Jack
don't know.
Doherty sound like?
Yeah, because
Jack Doherty sounds
like a
much
horse race,
more
horse race owner.
friendly.
I knew the
Horse
original.
racer,
I
yeah.
knew the original Sam Fox.
Jack Doherty.
Did you?
Yeah.
I knew the original
That's-
Jonathan Ross.
Was there another Jonathan
Shed
Ross?
to
Yeah, he just
Wow.
got all his contracts ready, and then the other Jonathan Ross came on the
Oh,
telly.
it was rather good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
But maybe he changed it for advertising a later show purpose.
Jonathan Ross.
Jack
Oh,
Doherty.
sorry.
So you could have the 10 o'clock Jack on, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. I said it'd be
Jack
John
off.
on,
But
John off.
he'd done Absolutely. So he'd done a lot of Absolutely before that, hasn't he? That was the series he'd done at around that time.
If
Yeah,
Doug-
a lot of the
It was
Absolutely
his
team.
company, wasn't
I think
it?
they were mates with
Him
Rob
and
Doug,
Gordon
you see.
Kennedy.
Yeah, Gordon Kennedy, all that lot, yeah.
Morwenna Banks was on
Morwenna
it, yeah.
Banks.
If
yeah.
ours...
Oh, the
if-
whole lot. Were
if-
we in their programmes?
No, they
we
never
were,
had
were
us
we?
on
Never
their
had us in
programmes.
theirs.
Never. I was never asked.
Never
No.
in theirs.
We were too
Huh.
busy, darlings.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Basically, we wait for the time-space continuum to reorder
Oh,
itself.
that's what I always like doing. That I like waiting for a time-space
Time,
continuum
space
to reorder
continuum.
Oh, the
itself.
number. If I had £1 for every time I'd waiting for the time-space
Yeah.
continuum to
I have to admit now,
reorganise,
all
whatever
these
it is.
years on, that there were some moments in The Inquisitor when I didn't know what
Didn't
to do.
quite know.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
What the- Yeah,
I think it
what
was
the
one of the
logic
ones that left
was.
me a little
And
bit
now,
wobbly.
we've done the commentary, they still don't know.
Yeah. So just...
No.
Not much clearer.
So
No,
Doug,
what else is right?
Doug, Rob, do I know who Chris is now?
John Doherty.
No, Bobby, no. Look, at this stage, Chris. No, look.
Was Jack-
Lister doesn't. Lister knows you, does he? Does he know me or not? Where am I? Am I still alive now? Have I got the
Maurice Curtin. I bumped into
Bobby,
Maurice
no.
Curtin at
You've
a
got
club.
the gauntlet, Bobby. Bobby, cut his arm off now.
Bobby,
I'm
the
like
answer to your
pre-cut it.
first 5 questions is yeah.
Yeah.
And the answer to the second 4 is no.
Stand there, cut the gauntlet off, and run. But haven't I already done that? No, Bobby.
Just don't think about it too much.
It was definitely one of those.
It'll work, it'll work. Welcome to Red Dwarf 5. Terraform. Chris, anything you remember about this episode, except the cold sword fight?
I remember being oiled by some lovely ladies.
Oh. Is that the one with the old sort of wood chip in it?
Yes, the special wood chip
That
version.
got into places that they shouldn't have.
Just a bit, yes.
It's become very popular. The Body Shop now do body oil covered with wood chip in it.
chips, yeah.
Yes.
Anaglypto body oil, I think it's called.
Oh, and I think it gives it a special ecstasy.
Now, this opening sequence, I do remember being particularly uncomfortable.
Yes.
Oh, what was your eye like
Well, with
that?
your eye dangling out like that,
Yeah.
Bobby, I'd imagine it would have been.
Error finding server. My computer says that quite regularly.
Yeah, mine does.
Error finding server.
Yeah.
Well, that happens to me
Yeah.
a lot on my
Yeah.
emails, I can tell you.
Crushed beyond repair. Your ambulatory system has
I was thoroughly impressed by the post-production on this. I
Yeah.
seem to
No, it
remember.
was very good.
been at 67 minutes.
Who would have been responsible for
Shouldn't
that?
there have been a warning about epileptic
Harry?
fits?
Was it Harry?
Was it Harry? Was it
Who did that? Did
big
the...
That
computer?
machine called Harry, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's
It's
right.
a famous
That's
BBC
right.
machine,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Your auto repair system.
It's a bit like that Dalek machine. Have you seen it? I've seen it.
yeah.
The machine that does the Dalek voice.
Oh, is this where you send your hand off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is funny.
Cause of accident unknown. Should someone find this recording, perhaps it will shed
Now,
light.
where was this, Bobby, this bit? Was this in
This
a
was
studio?
a little studio off the side of the main studio. And it was-
Right.
And it was quite muddy. There was some real mud for some reason, which seemed to be essential to create this scene.
Hurled
which I
into
was
the
buried
studio,
in.
yeah.
What we're going to do, Bobby, is cover you in mud.
So I remember coming into this studio when
Yeah.
you'd been at it since like
Oh, it
6
took
in the morning
ages,
or
yeah,
something.
Just to get... I think they buried my legs in, so the legs were separate.
This, combined with the erasure of my short-term memory, has left me a little disoriented.
Very
Offline.
good.
Yeah.
Hey.
Get out of here.
Those girders look real, Bob.
Yeah, they were. They were real girders. Yeah, and they really were crushing me. It's very painful.
I know
Robin
what
Doug
it's
thought
like
it was
with
essential.
girdles.
Of course.
Ah, look at that. The classic hand-cutting moment.
And where were you supposed to be? Sorry,
It was crashed. I'd crashed on a
He doesn't
planet.
know where he is.
I don't know where I am at the
Right.
time, I think, but
Yeah.
I think I'd... Yeah, there we go. The old arm there.
The old hide cholik.
That was a brilliant little hand, actually.
Yeah.
Take the old eye off.
Yeah. Is that the only time you used that hand?
Can you hear me?
It's the only time I used that line.
Now find an ore sample pod. There should be plenty strewn around the crash site.
It was a lovely little hand, that. It was very clever.
Oh, this is the computer scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
When me and Craig.
Yes, that's right, when you're doing the
typing
typing.
up. Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah.
We had to shoot that scene again.
And again.
Yeah.
And again.
very excellent.
We had to shoot
Yeah.
that scene twice.
Oh, yeah.
And again.
Ah,
now what is
because-
that
What's
spaceship?
that? That's not.
So that was a little pod that the hand was travelling in. It
Pod,
was a little
right.
escape pod. There he comes.
a
A
palm
clever little
pod.
hand. Yeah, it's a little palm pod.
What? Oh, it's coming up in a minute. Yeah, we had to reshoot that scene
Did you?
because
Any ideas?
it was a cutting problem because what we needed to do was ISO the computer.
Ah, that's right.
And we never ISO'd the computer, so we never had to cut back to the words.
Yeah, because the words are very
So
important,
it-
aren't they, in this sequence?
If
Yeah.
the scene went off key, you couldn't cut away to the screen because we didn't ISO that screen.
Of waking up and finding one crawling over your clammy, naked,
I remember
helpless
that.
body. It always feels with a kind of cold dread.
That's when you isolate one camera just to film the whole scene on you know.
So you can lock it off so you can paste
Yeah.
in the screen afterwards, because the
Yeah.
screens would flicker, wouldn't they?
That's what ISO means, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. It's a technical term, Chris, that's used in TV.
It comes from the word isolate, Christopher.
Yeah, people will walk past you on a set and go, we've got to ISO this, Bob. And I go, yeah,
Daniel,
all right.
may I congratulate you for your in-depth technical knowledge of the workings of television. Have you been doing a course?
The only course this was the lunch, darling. Yeah,
well, you are cleverer than I ever gave you credit for.
Well,
There we go. This is the ISO shot. There
I
you
know
go.
what POV means.
Something is crawling up my leg.
Which is more than some television directors know.
Exactly.
A tarantula.
Playing that dumb adventure game.
See, this is the magic. You see, this is the shot here. This is the ISO computer screen shot
Right.
that we needed.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Because
See, so if we
because they
screwed
couldn't
up
type
now,
that well.
you could see the
neither of you could
computer
type,
there, you
is
see.
that-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
You
had
could
to
see
press
the
any keys
mistakes.
and the letters would come up, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Very good.
Yeah, you see. not that.
Good bit of computer
obvious
acting.
there. Yeah.
That's great, though. Great idea.
I can't think straight. Although, tarantula. I like that.
There's not many comedy scenes where it's just typed
Just
on the
typing,
screen and
very
still getting the
yeah.
laughs,
I
is
know.
it? So where you say 'em?
That must have been easy scene to learn, though, Dan.
Oh, great. But you had to do the reaction to what
Yeah,
was on the
yeah.
screen, otherwise it didn't work.
Did you know what was on the screen?
Well, we
It
learnt
came
the
up at the
scene.
time. Yeah, you knew what was going to be on the screen.
Do you know, when I see the hand and the eye, I'm reminded of Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
That's true. That's probably where they got the idea from, I would think.
and
Pixar
the-
would have seen
And
this.
the Addams Family. And The Hand. What's that film, The Hand, where the hand goes running off? Old black and white film, isn't it?
Yeah, the Addams Family, isn't it?
Is that the
yeah,
Addams Family?
yeah.
I thought it was more scary than the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Fine, man, take it easy. I'm gonna get you out of there.
My legs, I can't feel.
I seem to remember this was the episode when I thought I could put my feet up for quite a long time
The opening sequence. Yes, you haven't featured heavily yet, have you?
No.
Chris?
No.
at all yet.
I think that was something that was negotiated behind closed doors with Craig.
It's one of the things where you get the script and sort of go Bobby, 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 Bobby,
Yeah.
Bobby, Craigie Daddy, Craigie Daddy, Craigie Daddy, hand, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. Am I in this or not?
Firstly, you are not a qualified service engineer, and consequently, sawing me in two will invalidate my guarantee. Secondly, I wouldn't trust you to open a can of sardines that was already open.
A lot of dirty work on your costume there.
Yeah.
You're right. He really isn't dead. Oh, you.
Now, where was the camera? Was he lying on the floor? Do you remember?
Brighton, you okay?
I think so, sir.
There's a few bits and bobs left over. But it's always the same when you try a bit of do-it-yourself, isn't it?
Where's Mr. Rimmer?
We were just gonna ask you that. What happened?
Well,
Did they colour that in, that coat?
They coloured that coat in.
With a highlighter?
It was. It's a bit of Tipex and a bit of a highlight.
There's a vicious rumour that it was Howard Burden, but I think personally it was Jules Shaw.
You serious?
Yeah, Howard would never sit there doing that. He's
They
a diva. He's a diva. He's a prima.
But he
What, you mean they really did colour
they
it
coloured it in with
Yeah.
felt
Why
tip
didn't they
pens.
just get yellow and black?
I don't know, because you can't get yellow and black.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get
no.
white and black, see?
Yeah, and plus, I think
That's unbelievable.
I think by then it was copied by old Ms. Saunders. Mrs. Saunders. No, is it Ms. Saunders, isn't it?
What, absolutely fabulous?
Absolutely fabulous.
Did she get a coat like that?
Yeah, if you go and she knocked us.
See, it
robbed our style.
It influenced the culture of the period, didn't it, really, Red Dwarf?
And so obviously he must have coloured it in yellow.
Yeah.
How dare you copy me?
Click and a half due south.
They must make it now, though.
Huh?
I can't believe that was the first yellow and black zebra.
No. The white and black zebra was copied.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why they had to colour it
This
in.
is extraordinary, you see. I never knew Starbug had caterpillar tracks.
Squelchy underfoot.
Well, it does now.
It's like your laundry basket at the end of the month. Get anything?
My guess is this is a Simoon.
Simoon?
A
Do you remember that?
Simoon.
That
what
was
a
the
classic
working
line.
title, in fact.
It was Simoon. That's what it said on the script, wasn't it? Yeah.
What, S-I-G-H?
That happened a lot, didn't it? The titles we got on the script.
PSI.
We are interlopers inside.
Not to be confused with the Wings early 70s hit, Sea Moon.
Or Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the
Or
Moon.
indeed
Side
Pink
of the
Floyd.
Moon.
Pink Floyd, John.
Yep.
Or Blue Moon. Or there's a lot of
Blue Moon, yeah.
They'd had to have coloured that in with felt tips as well, then.
Yeah.
Personal demons will be incarnated here, made flesh.
Example?
Well, each person's mindscape is unique, but we could well encounter, say, Mr. Rimmer's.
It is.
They didn't really colour that in.
I used to record my lines on a
think they
tape
did.
machine.
Unbelievable.
I used to record everybody else's lines on a tape machine. I'd listen to it on the way to work.
And try and fill in the
Yeah,
gaps.
try and fill in the gaps. And I'd do my impression of Craig going, example? And then there would just be this long gap, and I'd be driving on going, what? Example? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Swerving all over the M3.
The trouble with doing that is you know everyone else's lines and you don't know
then you forget yours.
Yeah, because they've gone into your head, or the taped ones.
That's how Lenny Henry
That's
told
what
me.
I
That's
tried
how
to
he
do.
learns his lines.
Is it? Same thing, yeah.
What, leave the gaps?
Leave the gaps and record everyone else's.
Yeah, but I think it's
I've
also
done
good
that
to have a
before.
tape recording your own and not having anybody else's as well. And just play the two tapes and then you don't have to bother doing anything.
Yeah. Now, this was filmed outside in the middle of the night, then, wasn't it? So you must have been pretty
it was
refreshed, I would think,
freezing.
because it
Can
was
I say-
November, wasn't it? It was
It
really
was
cold.
Oh, I've lost track. Why are you wearing a nightgown?
Even look the remotest bit like the British Embassy? I want to know who you are, what I'm doing here, and I want to know now.
In accordance with the appetites of the Dark One, malicious ruler of this domain, we the legions.
Yes, I was...
So this is the moon you've created, then, Chris?
Is
This
any of
this
those
your-
Jack Doherty? Not, are
No,
they?
Jack's not in this one.
Thank God.
Oh, that's do you remember these ladies?
Yeah.
They were models.
Yeah. Modals.
Red eyes. Well, thank God you're here. You know, I actually thought I was in the most awful danger.
Get them off, boy. Stop your chat.
Hey.
There
Oh,
you go.
no, look at that.
Pineapple's
All
out of
the
business
girls
again.
started-
Look, eh?
They were all when they saw that. When they saw that, Chris, they got out the pen straight away. Started writing the fan letters, didn't they? As it was on.
The weight training that I'd
I
had
thought
to
it
do.
was
Yeah, to do that scene.
Unbelievable.
I thought it was complaining
impressive,
letters. Well, they found letters.
They were fan letters.
Oh, God.
Behind 200 or 300 metres.
Well,
Is that what got it moved to after the watershed?
Yeah, it was too rude.
Sickness.
definitely.
Or to
expect
round the back of the
sickness.
bike shed, more like.
Look, give it a rest, will ya?
I really was quite skinny in those days,
You were
wasn't I?
very, very trim, Chris. You were
Did you have a
extraordinary.
fake tan?
Physical
Look at those pecs. Look,
I know. Look at them. Look at them. Extraordinary.
Hey?
Look at the six-pack there, Chris.
The gargoyle's even crying.
Onto a
impressed.
plateau of sexual ecstasy.
Oh,
That's pretty impressive to be able to do the lines.
Yeah, I say, for some strange reason, kept doing it wrong loads and loads of times.
I can feel that as we speak.
I can see it as we speak, boy.
Has my nipple got slightly bigger after
I'm
that?
not sure. I don't think
No,
that's
that's
the only
right.
thing that's got slightly bigger, Chris.
It wasn't. Chris. It wasn't the nipple. Hence the shot.
We bet. Yes, Chris. We're going
They
to
were
shoot
charming
that again. We've got
ladies,
to
no doubt.
reframe.
At one point, that was going to be a full-length shot. You know.
Actually, in Terraform, one of the great pleasures for me wasn't just being oiled by that lovely shaving impregnated oil, but I, in fact, was the only one to see the monster.
Oh yeah.
You know?
You never see it.
Was there one?
You see
The
the
rest
shadow.
of it was in
there a
shadow,
monster?
but yeah. Oh, I actually saw it. You see, I actually saw how.
It wasn't just legs and a shadow.
No, it was monster. There was monsterness there, and it was rather frightening.
Because I can't remember seeing them. I think you probably were. I don't think I actually even genuinely saw it on the day. I don't remember seeing
I
it.
can't remember. I remember a monster
We were-
falling apart, but I don't think it was that one. It was
No.
another one.
Ah, now this was, of course, a very relaxing day in a boat.
Well, it's
because
just...
this is before I'd let you swim.
You can just see the lump of dry ice that was dropped into that water.
But I couldn't swim when we did this, and you were rocking the boat like a couple of loonies. It was terrifying.
Do you remember we were laughing and Robert was
scared.
Robert was terrified, poor guy.
You guys had a laugh, though.
We did.
Shepperton backlot.
That was before it got. That was before it got cold.
And actually, this was right next to the set that they used in the Crying Game, wasn't it? They were shooting the Crying
That's
Game
right.
at the same time. There was the greenhouse that they machine gunned from the helicopter at the beginning of the Crying Game was right next to this, and they were shooting that at the time.
Yeah, that with Forrest Whitaker playing the British soldier.
Playing British soldier, classic bit of casting.
Yeah, we were mad. Me and Craig were mad as hell, boy. There he is. There's us at the swamp of despair. And across the road is Forrest Whitaker with a big Winnebago.
Yeah. Playing a geezer.
Playing an Englishman. Harumph.
Self-confidence.
I think this is lovely philosophy as well.
Yeah, wonderful.
Honour, gone but not forgotten. Died aged 12. Look at this. This one's minute.
Do you remember?
Charm.
There was supposed to be a little puff of smoke there, yeah? In the smeg ups.
Who's it for?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, psychologically speaking, Mr. Rimmer may be in far bigger trouble than any of us ever suspected. If we don't get to him before this grave is filled, we may never get out of this nightmare.
You look a bit young there, Bobby.
Well, I look a bit sort of peaky, I think. I think it was the effect of the whiskey.
How can you tell with that on?
We were given a little bit of whiskey to keep us warm,
How
and that
can
was
you tell
fake.
it looks peaky with a bloody rubber mask on?
Oh,
that's nice.
Deary me.
Boy, am I glad to see you. You must be the unspeakable one. Just to fill you in, there's been a gigantic administrative cock-up. Some of your staff have somehow mistaken me for a virgin.
Now, whose voice is that, then?
Oh, I don't know.
That's Ed By's, it sounds like.
Is it Ed?
Oh, Ed Boy.
It sounds like Ed.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't, was it?
Is it Ed By's voice?
Saw him the other day as well. I keep
It's my
seeing
voice.
people.
It's
Chris.
Yes, Chris, it was you.
It's your voice.
Worst nightmares,
Blimey.
actually.
It's multitasking.
Well, Ed By, of
Well,
course.
actually, it's actually quite right, because you were the voiceover king.
Well,
you were the voiceover king in those days.
To me, Chris still is.
Still is.
That's your toilet cleaner voice, is it? For the
Yes.
It's the old Blue Lou voice there.
God, where were we when we did
Because
that?
it's Rimmer's
Oh, get round
moon,
that
you know.
Do you remember?
that would be
bend in
Rimmer's
no
voice.
time.
Chris used to do a voiceover, then come to rehearsal.
That's right.
Back in those days.
Yeah.
Remember that enormous mobile phone he had?
Oh, that was classic. Yeah.
Didn't
Every
make it very
time it
popular.
rang, it was a grand.
Every time it rang,
Every time that phone
Kenny's
rang,
in
I
heaven.
cried. Because you knew it was another gig.
Doug used to come in and go, yeah, has Chris turned up yet? Yeah, no.
No, he's not
say-
yet.
say-
He's doing a voiceover.
No, he's doing fruit pastels.
Yeah, he's selling double glazing.
Do you remember? Yeah.
He wasn't happy.
No, of course he wasn't. He was earning 10 times more than he was before he got to work. Don't forget, in those days, they were just writing, didn't it? I remember.
Yeah.
And there's Chris. He said, "I just did a massive, sort of toffee crisp or something. You know.
Campaign, yeah.
Campaign, how many? Oh, just 4 commercials, yeah.
For glasses?
You still do them?
No.
We'll go in.
That's showbiz.
Why?
I just don't want to.
How comes the master isn't on the circuit, Chris?
Well, I've used those energies and put them into something else
Yeah, it's
now.
more creative work.
Anyway,
now
back
is
to the
perhaps
plot.
not the time to talk about them.
Now back to the plot.
Let's
Let's shoot in
haul
something.
ourselves back to Terraform, shall
Yes.
Terraform. Hold on there. Yes, look, he's oiled up. Yes.
Yeah, still
we?
oiled
The
up.
oily, swampy joy
Did that
that it
hurt
was.
your arms? Was you there a long time with your arms up like that? Oh, I thought that was.
Oh, I remember this.
I thought that was your
Amazing set,
bottom.
though, wasn't it? Look at that set.
It was a great
Extraordinary
set,
for us.
yeah.
It really
Borrowed
was.
that off anybody else, didn't we? That was ours.
Yeah, no, it was. That was. I think
This is it.
Didn't they have to stop a bit of the studio audience seating? Went that round the corner where a bit of the studio audience
I think
usually
so,
was?
yeah.
This would have been pre-recorded,
It was an
I'm
extra
sure.
set.
Yeah.
When you're in mortal danger.
This was a pre-record, was it? I'm sure there was something about doing this scene again as well, wasn't there?
I think we did them.
We did
a lot,
that again.
Yeah,
as
I
well.
think Chris had to do that oiling scene over and over
Yeah.
and over and over again. I don't know why.
Yeah. Not likely to request that, am I?
Oh, we had to go in the boat again.
Yeah, the Swamp of Despair.
Those are the flames that Craig managed to light his cigarette off.
Yeah.
Keep away from the flames. That was
That's
the
right.
order, wasn't it?
Keep away from the flames.
Don't go near the frames.
He put his head in it.
Bob,
Like,
don't let them go near the frames, you know. And then Craig had to lean right over till the boat was nearly tipping up to light his fag.
Oh, brilliant.
Bobby was having kittens
I was
in
having
that boat.
6 types of kitten.
It was like the
Well, you got
Poseidon
that heavy
adventure
suit
in there.
on, you'd
I
have
know,
gone
it wouldn't have been, swimming wouldn't have been a lot of use, would it?
You'd have gone straight down.
I think you're
It
right.
might have floated, though.
Could have done, couldn't it?
Well, Bobby was acting a bit like Shelley Winters, actually.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Raise the Titanic.
I used to swim for the school.
But only when I was wearing pyjamas.
He's right, sir. This is a simoon. Its terrain was landscape.
That's right. John Pumphrey fell in, didn't he?
When we were shooting, a lot of people fell in. I know that.
Did they?
I think John Pumphrey and some lights fell into the water.
I think they actually brought a life jacket over for John Pumphrey.
The next day, yeah.
But I always remember Peter Ragg, you know, we'd just be in the middle of this lake and suddenly Peter Ragg's head would come out of the water and go,
yeah,
you're all right.
It was for
Oh my
Emo
God. How
Polymorph
deep
2.
was
They
it
actually had a life
Peter Ragg
jacket
was
standing by for...
I think they need it after this day, yeah.
How deep was it?
Oh, it was deep enough to not... They were swimming in it. It was deep, yeah.
Ugh.
And it wasn't very clean.
No, but any time...
Ugh.
Don't
It
you
don't
remember?
look very clean.
Any time there was more than 2 inches of water, Peter Ragg couldn't wait to get his suit on.
Oh, yeah.
What, scuba diving
He
rubber
said,
suit?
Pete, it's only rain, mate. You know, it's coming snorkeled up. But where is it?
Do a bit of Peter
Pete,
Ragg.
it's
Chris.
just
You can do a bit
raining
of-
today.
You
You know
remember
what I
how
mean?
Raggy talks?
Raggy spoke like that, didn't he?
It's
He had
true.
that sort of,
I see you go.
What's going to happen here, Robert, is there's going to be quite a big explosion, like underneath your bottom.
Yeah. Well, do you remember that time he shot us?
Yes, that's right.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
He shot us in the studio. All
that
of us
hurt.
got shot.
Yeah.
Do you remember? It was meant to be one look
Now,
forward.
listen to this. Now, this is a classic thing, Dan.
Excellent and inventive suggestion, sir, with just 2 tiny drawbacks. A, we don't have any jet-powered rocket pants. And B, there's no such thing as jet-powered rocket pants outside the fictional serial Robbie Rocket Pants.
Well, that's put a crimp on an otherwise damn fine plan.
Hang on, I'm getting a powerful energy emission.
Hand over the worm, and your lives will be spared. My quarrel is not with you. It's with that excremental smear who cowers amongst you. If you attempt to shield him, then I shall unleash the full, terrible fury of my hooded hordes against you. You have 10 minutes.
Where are you going? Where do you think I'm going? You heard him.
See, Rimmer's going to go and be... It's going to be a hero.
Really going to give yourself up? No, I'm going down to the engine rooms to cower behind one of the boilers. And I suggest you all find ingenious places to tremble behind, too.
If you want my opinion, the only way anyone's going to get out of here alive is by working out some way of killing that thing.
But how? The bazookoids were totally ineffective against it. It's invulnerable.
Yeah, invulnerable. You see, really difficult word.
Invulnerable?
Yeah.
Especially with your mouth full of rubber.
Nobody-
Exactly. It's not easy.
Invulnerable.
How many people actually say vulnerable?
I say it regularly. Yeah, I'm always feeling vulnerable. Yeah, I'm always feeling vulnerable.
No, you're English. You always say vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
You say vulnerable.
Vulnerable. He's posher than he makes out.
No. Darling,
Vulnerable.
all the poshness that he had went on the first series he was in. Once he started
Is he
learning
acting
them words,
mucky?
darling.
Is this the car chase one? No.
No. This is where we have to be nasty to Rimmer to save ourselves.
Oh, yeah, that was really difficult, wasn't it?
It's not out there. It is in Starbug with us. The real enemy is inside Mr. Rimmer's head.
Nice plan. So we remove his head and everything's cool, right?
Now, wait a minute.
This is...
That's gone right up my flagpole, that has, Clayton. I'm saluting that.
Clayton? What?
When we first drove back the beast in the cavern, it wasn't the bazookoid fire that forced him into the pit. It was when you told Rimmer that we wouldn't desert him.
I remember
You see, Crichton always works it out.
Remember, Craig used to have a much more slimmer hat than that. Do you remember?
Did he?
In the old days, yeah. This was the more puffy,
slightly porkier hat.
Went with his personality.
It's quicksand and get off this godforsaken
He's not here to answer these.
Scandalous. Slanderous.
What's names?
Ah, you're
That's right. We had to tell you we loved you, didn't we? And some of that was cut. We did a lot of loving. And that was
that was the gap when we had to gather round, didn't it? And
yeah.
we really
was that
were
cut
like
in the end?
I think so. I don't think they.
No. Remember, we had to get together.
I know. I remember that, and you couldn't do it for giggling every single time.
Very difficult to do.
That's probably why.
It was the first time we'd actually been near Chris that close. wasn't it? Because
Yes.
Chris wasn't one who... Chris didn't really like sort of too much
You
fluff.
didn't like...
He was very...
Too much what?
Fluff, you know, fluffing around, you mean?
Yeah, no, I wanted to get on with the show.
Get on with the show. Stop the flapping. Get on
Come
with
on,
the show.
love, I'm an artist.
We're professionals.
I've got loads of lines to learn. Let's get on with it.
No wonder they cut it. It used to crack up every single time, did it? From the very first rehearsal onwards.
Yeah.
Because I remember, because I had a line after you stopped doing it.
It was funny, because it was
And I had to
unusual.
listen
Because
to-
Wait,
To wait about an
You were there
hour.
for an hour and a half.
No,
Yeah.
because the characters never were that
I think
close
I had
to
my
Rimmer.
hair washed in between,
I
actually.
think you probably did. You went out for lunch, didn't you? Had a
Yeah,
nice
and
lunch,
came back,
You
then
still
did the
had it?
line.
If you look at the characters in the show, usually we never actually got that
I do
close
remember.
to Rimmer.
They really do care about you.
I don't.
This morning you referred to me as a cancerous polyp on the anus of humanity.
What a classic.
Yeah. Do you still use that insult?
Friendly, affectionate way.
I just want to know where their medical terms come.
insults here, you know.
Articulate our feelings, and I, for one, would just like to take this opportunity to say that you're a splendid man, much respected colleague.
Yeah. They say that. Yeah. I think that's taken over from Have a Nice Day, hasn't it?
I know why you're doing this.
Going down.
You're trying to make me feel guilty, aren't you? It's a
I
transparent...
got voiceovers in lifts after that. Yeah.
What gave you that idea?
Well, why is it then?
Our number's up here. And I don't want to go out without setting the record straight.
Oh,
It's not
dear.
easy to say this one man to another.
No one's going to believe this huddle.
I love you, man.
Yeah.
I really, really love you.
You got those tissues again?
Look.
Going up.
I think it might be a good idea at this time if we try and get into a kind of four-way hug situation. I don't think people touch enough, sir. I think people should touch more.
I love you, Arnie.
Oh,
This is a beautiful man, big man.
Beautiful.
Is this a cat?
Chris is about to burst into giggles, I think. Looks of him there.
Happening out there.
Because I'm doing this thing like...
Yeah.
Get near him.
Ah, there we go. This is some classic.
This was some...
It is
Listen,
really
now
lovely.
this is when I was gone. I'm sorry. I was cracking up when he jumped out at us, I tell you.
Oh, the hat. I do remember the hat.
Ah. How many of these people were there all dressed up? Who were they?
What a brilliant costume, Chris.
It's great, isn't it?
Yes, you'll notice that all the camera direction, of course, is covering up some rather pony sword fighting.
Yeah, I was wondering if you had fencing lessons.
But do you know what? He actually does look like Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
There's the
We know what they said about
He
Errol
looks like
Flynn.
Errol Thin. Magical, those fires.
It was all baloney, wasn't it?
What, the fires? Yeah.
All that hugging stuff back there. It was just a way of escaping, wasn't it? I mean, you didn't really feel that deep down I'm an okay sort of bloke. But I'm not such a bad old stick once you get to know me. You didn't really mean any of that,
Oh,
did you?
it's very cruel.
No.
And on that bombshell.
Oh, that bombshell, there we go.
Aww.
Sarah Stockbridge and Francine Walker. Now that's very sad about Francine. She passed away not long after we did that, and that was
Really?
yeah, really sad. Francine,
My God.
the girl, one of the handmaidens, because Sarah Stockbridge is still acting, and she's been lots of things.
The handmaidens?
Yeah, one of the handmaidens. Yeah, Francine Walker Lee.
What happened to her?
She died. Oh, I mean, a few years ago. So it was very,
Well,
very sad.
she lives on Red Dwarf anyway, which is the main thing.
Hello there, you're watching and listening to Red Dwarf Series 5. This is Hattie Hayridge and this is Quarantine. We're all sitting here
And
ready
so
to
are you,
entertain you
darling.
in chat. So are you what?
Quarantined.
Oh,
That was such a good introduction, Hattie.
It was
Thank
marvellous,
you.
wasn't it? It was very nice.
Very
to hear.
nice. Very, very nice.
a wooga. I just thought I'd throw
That's
that
it. Yeah,
in.
no, throw that in, Hat, while you got the chance, love.
Yeah.
Is this an awooga episode?
No, I don't
Don't
think
think
so.
there's any
I don't
woogering
know.
going on. There's a lot of Space Corps directives,
said
I know.
it
in
in
this.
this-
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
In
But
this
we do have
series,
Maggie
yeah.
Steed.
And there's Maggie Steed in it. That's
Yeah,
right.
I liked her. She
And a
was
certain
nice.
Mr. Flibble, I believe.
I do believe Mr.
Yeah.
Flibble
Maggie
makes an
Steed,
appearance here.
the
yes.
diva.
Oh, I'm
Lovely
freezing
model
already.
shot.
Oh, it's cold. I feel cold now. Oh,
Get
here
off
we
me
come.
coat.
Here we
Now, look
go,
at that.
look.
See, you can't do that with CGI. And
Why-
I'll be told now that is
we miss all
CGI, and I'll be
this.
really disappointed.
No, it weren't invented, was it?
Oh, it's before. There wasn't computers in these days when we did this.
Wait a minute.
No, there weren't computers.
I'm
Apart
in
from me.
charge of security and surveillance aboard this vessel.
Ah.
I, Mr. Crichton, am the one who says...
Hey,
Crichton.
Mr. Crichton.
Where did that come from?
You're looking a little bit pink there, Chris.
Well, I'm looking.
Yes, look at that
A
pink
little bit-
outfit.
what's John done with the light in there? He's giving you like a pink
Like
gauze
a
or something.
pink hue of gorgeousness, I think is the phrase you're looking for.
Ah.
You look positively subdued,
Have
Danny,
you got
in that one.
your
in your
gobbled
outfit.
spot there, Dan? Have I?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Comparison.
yeah. There's definitely a little a lighter hue to this one, isn't there?
The scouter, please, sir.
Well, Pomp has found that that little button from 1 to 10, and he's decided to put the lighting levels up.
The fader was just moved a notch.
I think so.
Sir, it appears we've
So that we can
encountered
see it.
scientific research.
That's always
No,
helps.
that's so we can see.
show, so that you can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, it does help, doesn't it?
Clearly, I'm superfluous to this
He's a
entire
legend,
operation.
anyway.
I know.
Doesn't matter what.
If he
we
hears
love
this, he
John.
knows how much I love him.
Who's that? John.
John the Pomp.
The
Oh,
legend.
yeah, the Prince of Darkness.
The Prince
Ah,
of Darkness.
That's what all the camera crew always called him, the
Oh,
Prince of
that's
Darkness, because
funny.
they couldn't see what they were looking at.
Yeah.
I used to like. I've probably said this before, but his assistant was called Di, wasn't he? And I didn't realise he used to be shouting up at the ceiling at some bloke
Yeah.
standing up there shouting, "Die, die!"
Yeah.
I used to think
Poor
he was
old guy. He
telling
was
some
always
bloke to
clambering around
jump.
the...
Yeah.
Clambering around the
Taking
rafters.
this so personal. It's the only way to get her back to the ship.
And Craig's
Why
got
do we need
yet
another hologram?
another hat.
Is that a different
His
hat?
third one, yeah. This is the third
Are you
hat.
sure?
How can you tell?
Had you very
I
good
know
on the
because
hat, Dan.
I actually gave him one of them.
Ah.
It used to belong to a mate of mine.
Oh right, your own personal hat.
Yeah.
Ish.
A dancer called Gary Hurst. He was a black Irishman,
Blimey.
believe it or not, from
What was
Belfast.
he like in Riverdance?
You hadn't forgotten?
Actually, he was a dancer, that's what I'm saying.
I know, but it was be wasted in Riverdance. The whole top half of his body wouldn't be used.
Villa in the Algarve?
Well, it's a bit like Rimmer, actually, the river dancer.
Yeah, Rimmer
I
could
know
do
why I got a
Riverdance.
pink hue in this one. It's because I knew that I had rather a lot of dialogue and sort of just held back on the 5th pint of Ruddles County the night before.
That
I sort
head
of
looks
like flushed
very...
I said at 20 to 11, I've got to go now
Yeah.
because I've got a big day tomorrow.
big day tomorrow.
Despite Craig's urging me on to come on, stay for another, stay overnight. I am.
Why does he only ever use them against me? Why are they never against Lister? Why do we never hear him quoting Space Corps directives that clearly state no
You see, here we go, whole
flosses
chapter
with the E string of his guitar
in,
after spraying the entire contents of a sugar puff sandwich all over his superior's bunk.
Phew.
That was a good one.
That was a deep breath, wasn't it?
Holly,
A lot of learning required.
with a hologrammatic copy of the space.
That head looks really good today.
Where is it?
Thanks.
That's
You
it.
mean Crichton's?
You should be able to study it at your leisure on your trip back to Red Dwarf, sir.
Did you notice that sort of the
You've changed.
you know, they haven't forgotten about the fact that we are outside in the snowstorm, you know?
Oh, yeah, we've still got that.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Sort of wind
Oh, yeah,
outside.
it's not all thrown together at the last minute. There's a lot of planning on it.
That'd be Keith Mays, wouldn't it?
That's Keith.
That'd be Keith
Mays.
Mays.
Well, yeah, he would probably have gone out on a windy day to record
Yeah,
that.
he would have
specially.
recorded that from the top of the BT building or something like that.
What a schmeed.
You'd have to get the.
Ooh,
Have to get the right
You
kind
occasionally
of
get asked,
wind.
you know, I occasionally get asked to do that. I have to do that in the odd garage when I've just filled the car.
Oh.
And someone
Yeah.
says, "Go on, mate, do that smeg thing, do the smeg thing."
The number of people who've walked up to me in conventions and done that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I think got a problem. And then no, they're actually
you
trying to
see
impersonate Crichton.
Did you see on that comedy show, and that guy, there was a guy on there, I don't know who he was, but he was saying that, you know, with Red Dwarf...
Little
With Red
Britain?
Dwarf...
Oh no, it was mentioned
no.
on Little Britain as well.
With Red Dwarf, it was a case of you either like the word smeg or you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know who he was, but I
Wow.
still want to know.
There's no need for a
It
lot.
was mentioned on Little Britain as well.
Was it?
Some bloke buying car boot sale buying Red Dwarf videos.
Ah, isn't that nice?
Yeah, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't slagging us off. It was a nice little bit.
homage in a way.
Yeah, it's a little homage. It was very nice.
Yeah, can't argue with it, love.
So what's the news?
Well,
There seemed a bit of a gap there.
Look at the acting.
There's that prop again.
It's the same prop. It was a very popular prop.
A teleporter, was it?
It was a size scan. Size scan. So it could tell everything. Whatever you needed
It's
to
a
know, it would tell
sandwich
you.
toaster, isn't it?
It was a small.
It looked like one of those old. Was it
Breville.
one of those old Tony toys you used to get at Christmas and
It was a
lasted about
Tony
a week.
size scan.
You know what I mean?
It was
and always the little clip that holds the batteries in always drops off.
Something like.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'd have a little aircraft that you maybe could fire off the edge or something. Never quite worked.
Always painted grey.
Now that's an interesting shot of you, Dan, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, who directed this one?
This was Robin Doug directed. This was a co-directed masterpiece.
This was the first time.
With Ed By tied to a project with his wife.
Yeah.
Tied to his wife.
Well, it actually was, yeah.
Series 5
Ed was ordered to do the Ruby Wax
by
series,
Juliet
right?
May.
Let's
But
get it straight.
Quarantine.
Yeah, this particular episode
was a Rob Grant job.
Yeah. It was Rob, wasn't it? Rob directed it.
Well, it was Rob and Doug
walking around in circles behind.
No,
going, yeah.
no, it was Rob and Doug. One said yeah, and one said no.
And you had to guess
That's how
which
they
was
did it, right? Should we take a close up here, Bobby? No. I know. Let's do a long shot.
Well, I just remember
No.
Rocket sort of charging down the end of the corridor, saying, "Right, I'm going down here, Rob. I'm going down here with the camera. Where do you want me to go next?" And Rob going, "I don't know. Where do you think you should go next?"
It's
so
true.
basically, it was directed by Rocket, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Rocket.
Now, where was that shot?
Rocket.
Do you remember that scene we just did then when we were running through that place? That wasn't a power station, was
It
it?
wasn't real snow, was it?
It was all real snow.
Rocket,
yeah.
we've got a four-hander here.
Does it? Yeah, exactly. Look, we've got a scene here. Yeah, we've got a scene.
Cameras at four characters. Yeah,
we've got a scene here. It is a scene, isn't it, Doug? Yeah, I think so. It is a scene. Yeah. All right, Rocket. Now, what's that? A camera in it? Yeah. Yeah. So, of course, you've got Rob and Doug directing, and basically their crutch is Rocket, who's famous for missing his shot.
Doesn't bode for good sort of
no,
television
that's what I'm saying.
directing,
It's
really,
like, now you can imagine what us lot were looking at. Like, oh, God, we got a cameraman who's famous for missing the rocket shot. Very important shoot, and the rocket goes up and he misses it. And Rob and Doug
Is that why it's
directed.
called Rocket?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
He was
I
filming
didn't
a
know
rocket
that.
and he missed
kept
it.
that secret.
Hey, I talk to my fellow workmates, yeah.
So do I.
Sir, I'm going to change the frequency.
But then, of course...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but Rocket was the
It was
diva.
directing by committee, let's face it.
Yeah. Well,
it's a good show. It's a good episode. I mean,
Rob
it was
did
always
direct the first one after Juliet left, but I don't know which one that was.
Are you really?
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's the way to go in. I bet you if they would have asked to direct, they would never have been allowed, I suppose.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
No, they wouldn't, would they?
they said you haven't got the right upbringing,
yeah.
i.e., and BBC education in directing. So,
this must be
Maggie Steed.
Dr.
Yes,
Hildegard
it's
Landstrom.
Hildegard. Yes, it's Maggie Steed with rather an large amount of makeup on.
Yeah.
10 rolls of rubber wallpaper.
I always find it
wonder if she
hard
knew
to
if-
really feel sorry for the other actors who had a lot of makeup on. I don't know why.
I wonder if she knew what she was walking into.
Compared to you,
Probably
Bobby.
not. Hers did look particularly uncomfortable, though. It didn't look very nice. I mean, it looked wonderful. You know, you can't really judge it on terms of niceness. This is a digger. Oh, there was a good digger there.
Yeah,
I've never driven one of them.
Maggie Steed wouldn't go to the canteen.
No, she wouldn't, would she?
Oh,
no, she
I
wouldn't
went
be
to the
seen.
canteen with her.
Did you? With the
yeah,
makeup
I went
on?
to, yeah. Oh, I don't know about with the makeup on.
No, not
blimey.
with the
I don't think
makeup
she
on.
wanted to
She
go
did
out
go
with
to
the
the
makeup.
canteen, though.
Yeah, she wouldn't go with the
Because
makeup.
I remember meeting Ralph Fiennes in there with her. And I was eating barbecued ribs, and
You
I
mean
got the
Rafe,
gravy. Do I? Yeah. I don't mean the one that walked across the Antarctic.
No, the other one.
Yeah.
She was in the stasis pod?
Precisely.
Mind you, it was a long way to
The
Shepperton.
one who flew across the Sahara in some movie.
She's running out of time. Maybe we can just
He's in a movie?
let her run around.
Theoretically, a sound notion, sir.
Rafe.
Unfortunately.
He was playing Heathcliff in. They were filming.
Now, you're surprised you didn't go to the canteen.
Yeah, not really.
Little eye, and now it's time for it.
Well, you know how vain reactors are.
My goodness me.
Oh.
Well, she probably did in rehearsals then.
Ah.
She wasn't dressed like that the whole time.
Poor woman. Destroyed by her own genius. Genius? Oh, yes. From what little I've seen of her research here, before the holovirus, she had a quite...
This was clearly pre-Pie in the Sky, wasn't it?
The fruits of her work...
Yes.
I mean, if you're high-flying on Pie in the Sky and someone says to you, do you want to play someone as mad as a wasp in Red Dwarf? No
She
one
was well known,
recognised.
though. She was a proper actress.
Yeah, she's a proper actress.
Theatre, Shakespeare actress,
Yeah.
of course.
Negative we already know about. Yeah, like flu, rabies, that kind of stuff. But she also believed that there were positive...
Oh, luck. Is this the luck virus?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one, the luck virus.
It's blue, isn't it?
I think that's a great idea. They had this thing on the radio about whether people that thought they were lucky and people who thought they were unlucky.
I've woken up in the morning feeling good.
And
The
it was
virus
true.
theme is a great Red Dwarf
Very popular.
tool.
There's been a lot of viruses. We've had a whole...
Especially for
plethora of viruses in our time, haven't we, really?
It's a wonder we haven't all been inoculated, really.
So what's in the tubes?
Landstrom claims to have isolated several strains of positive virus.
These I love
Basically,
these
if you
speeches.
think you're lucky,
These
then you're
speeches took up
lucky.
a lot of space on the page. You turn the page, you go, oh, poo heads. This is going to take some time, guys. Get comfy.
God, I'd have loved to have had some dialogue where I turned the page and thought this is going to take some time.
I'm watching your eyes here, Bob, and I'm
Yeah, they could be looking for help, but there is none.
Bobby,
I think
all you had to do was look behind you with the computer Starbug turning around there in the background. Have you seen it? Look. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
We
that's
said
right.
that there. Why?
Yeah.
Only last for about 3 minutes.
It was quite funny that I never understood why we had Starbug turning around there. Does anyone know?
It was the control mechanism, the stasis
That could have
monitoring.
been me there.
Was that just something that Peter Ragg put up there just for a laugh?
Well, no, so if anything went wrong with Starbuck...
That we know what it looked like.
Mid-mission, we could sort of, locate a problem.
I've forgotten what Starbug looks like.
Do they
I know,
sell
let's
those
stick it on the back of the
cards?
scene.
Do they sell those cards? They should sell those cards.
Oh, they're probably in some Red Dwarf fans' living room now.
But you see, we're missing out on these merchandising. Pack of cards, they're quite good.
Trust me, sir. You ready? Huh. I think that indicates the luck virus has worn off.
The old dart at the back of the head game.
Right, finished, chaps. We've got a bit of a problem with the cargo bay doors.
What sort of
I remember when they was putting that dart in your head.
Yeah,
Actually, you couldn't find really where it
my
would
head
hang
was.
properly.
There was
I think someone stabbed you once.
They did.
And
Yeah,
then,
there was a small hole in the back of my head at the time. Yeah.
and then they couldn't get it to stay in the head.
It was a bit droopy, wasn't it?
Such a simple gag, Bobby. Tearing our hair out.
Viral screening conducted by an automated toilet
This
attendant.
is King of the Potato People, isn't it?
Attention
Is he in-
to
is he in?
space
H not quite straight there.
No, would that have been
dear.
Andrea?
Does that mean you've taken it off?
With Andy, she wasn't concentrating that morning. She may have been imbibing fermented vegetable products the night before.
You
we
never know.
You never know. She
was
was
the one
quite
that
partial
kept
to
it
the
up.
odd glass of
White
Pinot
wine.
Noir, a bit of white wine.
My costumes went off the Richter scale, didn't they?
Yeah, they were very bright now. Howard was really on the case by
I'm
this time.
sure. I'm sure Howard was doing something illicit in the evenings when he thought this stuff up.
Hands sewing on sequins, I think.
Apparently, Howard's a daddy now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a
Good
baby
for him.
Howard
Who's
already.
the
There's
daddy?
a baby Howard.
I like that handbag,
Apparently,
Crichton.
he's already sitting at the
Oh, a
sewing
little
machine.
triangular handbag there.
God, I'd buy one of those.
The most popular
What
pastimes of
the
That
old
handbag.
what
Not
the Navy special in the what?
That shoulder bag he's got.
Oh right, I thought you was talking about the Navy look in the front with the
Not the pillowcase.
the pillowcase.
on the other guy's toothpick. Lions, tigers, scorpions, rats, even vultures when they're in captivity.
What are you saying to me? Vultures need personal space. They need, like, time alone every day to put their feet up and read What Carcass magazine.
Sir, I think you're downplaying...
Bank that woofer.
He did.
Look, what difference does it make? We hang out together most of the time anyway.
Yeah, but we all knew we could stroll out the door at any time. Not now, though.
Welcome to quarantine, lads. I hope the next 84 days pass
Do you remember this?
swiftly and as
Oh, yeah.
You was actually on the other side of that mirror, weren't you?
Yes.
That window. There you go.
Space Corps Directive 597 clearly states one berth per registered crew.
Oh, the H looks like it's under real pressure there, Chris, with the old... The old frown lines are there, kicking him off.
Now, is this the scene that Rob and Doug remember as being horrific?
I don't think it was.
They hated it.
Was it. Yeah, they had a lot of trouble with this. I mean, they had trouble with us.
No, you know what it was? It was filming it, and we were sort of standing there really bored and ratty and sort of not really getting down to it, weren't we? It was like one of those scenes we thought, what's Chris doing?
If we'd had this in front of an audience, though, were we doing this in front of an audience? Because we usually tended to sort of try and rattle through it pretty quick when the audience were in, but maybe we stuffed it up this time.
And fulfilling all Space Corps dietary
I think it was just the process of actually filming it got a bit long, didn't it? I don't know. I remember it being very...
And for dessert, I think you'll like it. Rather unusual. Sprout crumble.
Oh, you must have remembered that bit. Sprouts and more sprouts. I don't think you could have forgotten that bit.
Well, this is awful. I've got you down for sprouts almost every meal. I
suddenly freaked and went, oh, broccoli.
How long are you going to keep this up for, Rimmer?
Keep what up? I'm merely executing Space Corps Directive 595. Anyway, Mus Dasharuni, I've got to organise your daily provision of musical entertainment.
I do find myself actually occasionally saying things like, I've got a Dasharuni.
Yeah.
And then go, oh my God. You know, I've said it before I've realised that I've said it. It's that embarrassing thing.
I think it's because it's a lot of talking and not a lot of action, that scene. It's probably harder to remember.
Go through 12 weeks of hell. Well, we're not going
It's years of working on Red Dwarf, Robert. Something that you're not going to be able to.
You can't shake it off, can you? You think you can? You think you can slew it off like an old snakeskin, but it stays with you.
It stays with you. But listen, have these pills. Take one daily. And you never know. Okay.
Oh, what's that for?
He got a punch on the face. Yeah, it all got a bit ugly in the quarantine suite.
I think that's straight now. 2 hours it's taken me to panel beat my head back into shape. 2 damn hours.
Guys, just take it easy.
But it's a nice bright set.
It's a lovely bright set, yeah.
I need to take it easy one more time. I swear I'm going to turn his ears into a pair of maracas and tap dance a fandango in his throat.
I'm just saying, there's 79 more days to go.
And if you still want to be alive when there's only 78 more days to go, I suggest you do not blow your nose.
Bobby delivered with absolutely stinging accuracy.
Go the noise and the revolting burbling sound and go
It's
straight
like
to
Big
the
Brother, really, isn't it?
It was, well, in fact, this inspired Big Brother.
I reckon it did.
Yes,
It was all in a spaceship.
Yeah. Let's just put random people in a quarantine suite for 6 weeks, and then they can vote themselves out.
Yeah.
And it developed from there. That was
Red
the kind
Dwarf
of
was Big Brother. The whole thing about us, you know, being locked in and not, you know, not being able to sort of get out. And
Rimmer was right about you. You have changed.
Yes.
You're getting tetchy.
Oh, no, now don't call me Tetchy. You know what happens when you call me Tetchy.
Well, I'm calling you it now. It's exactly what I'm calling you. Tetchy. Tetchy. Tetchy.
There you
just
go.
as well I can't hear you. It's just as well I can't hear you calling me Tetchy. You know what happens when you call me Tetchy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I warn you what would happen?
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm putting it on.
Don't put it on.
I'm putting it on.
He's putting it on.
Here I go.
There he goes.
Right, if you put that on, I'm not going to help you out. I'm not helping you again, not this time.
You think I need your help? You think I can't
This was fun. I do remember this scene, because I think we did this, like, in a take. You know, it was one of those freak scenes.
We did it in one take.
We did it in one take. It's not 705 different takes sewn together.
Frankenstein.
So it's obviously just my bits that Doggo remember as being.
No, I think but there's another long bit when you've got
when I've got the lovely outfit on.
The outfit on, yeah.
It really gets my freckles up.
It's hackles, you moron. It really gets your hackles up. There's no such word as feckles.
Feckles, heckles, hackles, schmeckles, whatever the hell they are. They're up right now. I'm pointing at you, buddy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good lines in this.
Yeah. They're up right now, pointing at you, buddy.
They're up there.
Sprout diet with a
Pointing at you,
wallpaper
buddy.
video on a crochet magazine.
And then actually, remember, we actually did touch heads on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, my makeup's on your head. Look.
Oh, is it?
Can you see it?
Okay.
Look. Oh, hold on.
What do you mean? Your makeup's
there a
on
smudge
whose
of- a
head?
smudge of
Holy
On whose head?
poo-poo.
Brighton's head. Where?
Can't see it now.
I
Why,
just
if you
saw an edit there. Yeah, because on the first one. Should I tell this? I should let them in.
Yeah.
Right, when we do that la 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 la
Yeah.
bit, on that wide,
Yeah.
you notice you've got a big brown makeup mark, and on your next single,
it's gone.
It's gone.
Strangely, it's gone. Yeah, there might have
No
been a
one's
little
ever
clip there.
seen that one before.
Yeah.
It's a new one. It's a new one.
discovered something
We
new,
just
Dan.
discovered something new in Red Dwarf.
How long have you been listening?
2.
Wow, that.
Ah, no, this is.
I think this is where we see
This
Mr.
is
Flibble, isn't it?
Yeah, the costume change, isn't it?
So this is in fact all the same scene.
Yeah.
No one's got any virus and no one's smegging nuts.
Well, that's good.
No, I love this.
Is
I
something
mean-
amiss?
Amiss? God, no.
Absolutely
Yeah. He's a
fraggled
miss.
off. He is.
Yeah.
He's absolutely dolly here. I mean, absolutely gone
That's
mad.
the most popular fancy dress outfit at conventions,
It is, isn't it? Very
Yeah.
popular, yeah.
I'll tell you what, there's a few
It does
people.
throw people who
I
may
bet-
not
I
be
bet you
familiar
there's
with
a-
the show. You know,
Yeah.
they see a
Yeah.
load of men walking through and that. What show
Yeah.
are we looking at?
No, I can imagine there's
Yeah, what is
there's
this?
quite a few midnight sort of flitters into Flibble Land, I think. It's got to be one of the drag queen's favourites by now, isn't it?
Should
Well,
be.
we've passed the test, Rimmer. You can let us out.
I can't let you out.
Why not?
Because the
I thought it was nothing unusual, really, for Red Dwarf.
Well, nothing unusual for
Red Gingham
you.
dress.
I wasn't surprised. It was
No, it
just
wasn't.
another.
Just another cost. You see
Chris,
it hanging up
like,
don't you, on
you
the
know,
first day, and you think, oh, that'll be mine in a couple of episodes.
After the old sort of Rocky Horror Show costume, this is probably
Alice in
bliss.
Wonderland, is it?
Yeah.
Absolute
Wizard of
doddle.
Oz? What is it? Wizard of Oz?
It was how to play the madness which got me in the end, but
Just think of the dress, Chris.
So let me get this straight. You want to fly on a magic carpet?
Oh God, he's doolally. He's absolutely fraggled.
There's a
Absolutely
head
fraggled.
of a TV station in San Jose.
That's right, who considers
president.
himself the
Yeah,
head-
Tom, his name.
He's lovely, isn't
he
he?
has,
Yeah.
he has 2 business cards, doesn't he? President of this KTEH.
KTEH.
yeah.
KTEH. God, yeah.
Yeah.
Seattle.
San Jose it was.
Was it San Jose? That's
Yeah,
right.
well,
Well, the San
unless he's
Jose and
moved.
Seattle, they kind of morphed,
right.
didn't they?
Oh, I only went to the San Jose
Both the same
one.
station, isn't it?
Yeah.
not sure.
Same
I
name
dunno.
station.
What do we do?
So it's got the business card that says president and the other business card that says king of the
King of the
potato
potato people,
people.
yeah.
It's really brilliant.
That's right.
It can be transmitted over radio waves. He must have spoken to
Yeah,
Landstrom.
that Seattle crowd
We have approximately 7 minutes
definitely
before
on the
air
old
here becomes unbreathable.
Oh, we got to get out of
on
here.
the edge there, the Microsoft edge. The
right,
Microsoft
Vince
people
was
around there,
saying.
isn't it? San Jose.
Nothing gets out. Nothing gets in.
There's some good gap acting there that Craig was doing. Did you see that? He was feeling for gaps.
You cracking the code
And
of
there
the
are
door?
none.
The chances of punching in the correct
Give me the luck
combination are
virus.
literally billions.
Aha!
Unless
Of course.
the luck virus.
Hey, you really think
That bit looked like ER, that bit, when he
Well,
walked
it's very
over
like
there,
ER,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the scripts were based on
On Red
ideas,
Dwarf,
well,
yeah.
ideas from Red Dwarf. Not directly. I'm not saying
Yeah.
they stole it, but you know they.
Only from
inspired
the
by it.
Medibay.
Yeah, the Medibay, the whole
Medibay.
area.
Anything in the Medibay, you've seen it in
Yeah.
ER.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last digit, sir.
Ah.
now how good is that?
Very nice.
Eh?
Oh, see how that story all comes
A bit of
together.
corridor work now. Walking down the old corridors, lovely.
Before Mr. Rimmer what?
Ah. Here comes Mr. Flibble, who's been hugely popular. In a lot of ways, Mr. Flibble's stolen the whole series from us, hasn't he?
The naughty boys who've been naughty, Mr.
Yeah. Was there only one Mr. Flibble?
I think there was only one.
There's only one Mr. Flibble.
That's right, Mr. Flibble.
Yes, I think I was going mad myself.
You were there by that
I
time.
think that's why they had to write this episode, really, just to fit that kind of madness in.
Yeah, bizarre,
Comedy
really.
running. Oh, let's hide behind some very small bins.
I remember this scene.
Have long to live.
What is he capable of?
Did I just see some eyes double exposed on that?
A bit of eyes. That was his eyes, because he can see everything. A little bit. It was actually one of the things that inspired Tolkien in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The all-seeing eye.
Yeah,
And Carrie.
You know, every TV show ever made's been nicked off of this anyway.
Oh, yeah. Star Trek, everything.
I have a medium-sized fire axe buried in my spine. You can really put a crimp on your day.
I love that line. Very nice line.
Have you used that line since?
I have. I do sometimes say,
I
put a
have a
crimp on my day.
medium-sized... Oh, I don't know, but I have a medium-sized axe in the back of my neck.
No, I'll eat them here. That's better. Maybe now I can win self-determination for these South Moldavian people.
Look at that, eh? Eh?
That really hurt, didn't it?
It did hurt, yeah.
Okay now.
I do remember that. That was a lovely bit of special effect work there.
Lovely bit of pony.
What, so that wasn't put on afterwards then?
The sparks were there that day.
Yeah. God, yeah. In fact, there wasn't a flammable dress.
Yeah, but look,
I quite like the little shimmering ponytails there, the little pigtails that are shaking there.
They're
Chris.
lovely,
Very good.
aren't they?
We can't possibly do that.
Mr. Flibbles.
He's so evil.
I don't know who's madder, Flibble or him.
How? What we really need is some kind of remote link to the hologram disc.
Here we go. Crichton, quickly explain what we really need.
What a stroke of luck! Now all we need is some kind of detachable power transfer adapter capable of holding spikes of up to 5 million.
Craig smashed his leg. I know,
They didn't
that was acting.
redo that.
Oh, I thought that was for real.
I'm sure that was real. Because he's dosed up with the luck virus. He wouldn't have walked into
Yeah.
something and
No, that's
bashed his
true.
leg. So that was real then.
It's a great frock, Chris. It really
It
is. It's
is
a good
lovely.
look.
No wonder you asked to take it home, Chris.
Game over, boys.
Yes, that was
very good.
Very mad.
Oh, one of his eyes isn't red.
No.
Do you know Mr. Flibble was made by Howard Burden?
Did he actually make it so it wasn't just any old store-bought glove puppet?
It was actually,
No,
it was
you
made
ever
for
seen-
rehearsals, wasn't
You
it?
ever seen one in a shop like that?
Never.
It was made for rehearsal.
And then we kept it.
Because I was presuming there was going to be some really elaborate glove puppet.
Isn't that the same thing? Philip Schofield did that puppet on that TV show in the mornings. Gordon the Gopher.
Yeah.
That was sent in by a watcher.
Oh, really? One of the viewers? Oh, right.
And Philip Schofield made millions of pounds out of it.
But don't worry.
Oh.
We're here to entertain you.
Hey?
Hey, well, let's see who gets the credits for directing, because I reckon
It'll
it
be
was...
Grant Naylor.
Well, let's have a look.
Yeah, this will be good.
We'll soon see Jane Davis.
Joanna,
Irene
Irene.
Davis.
Bruce Steele, Jess Gibson, Nicola Hoyle, Magdalene. Don't
Rocket,
remember any of them.
there
Don't
he
remember
is.
any of them except Rocket.
Rocket.
No,
Oh, yeah, Mike, I remember, and Ron, I remember Ron, and Di.
Thomas, Paul Purdy, Stella McIntyre,
Yeah.
Graham
I remember
Hutchins,
Graham, of course.
Kerry
Kerry.
Waddell.
Oh, she would do that.
Christine Moses,
Adrian. And
Nina.
Yeah, Nina Gann was it. Yeah, she was makeup. She's lovely, Nina, wasn't she? John Pomfrey, Mel, Stephen. Now, the
Grant
director,
Naylor.
Grant Naylor. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Sounds like one person.
Yeah.
Hello, yes, this is still Red Dwarf Series 5, and we're now going to have a look at Demons and Angels, which was actually High and Low. That was the working title for this particular episode. And I think I sported at least one rather memorable costume. Although I remember it as being rather painful to wear.
It was painful to watch, too.
There was quite a lot of... There was high levels of discomfort on this particular show, I think. I do remember this sequence very well.
High and low levels of discomfort.
Yes.
I think Craig passed all previous culinary combustibles on this one, didn't he? I think this is where he ate the maggots.
Well, of course, one of the other great shows this inspired was Can't Cook, Won't Cook.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, I think, as well.
Yeah.
The matter paddle. I love the matter paddle. The matter paddle.
The matter paddle.
What's the matter, Paddle?
I'm thinking pony prop, but maybe Bobby will correct me
I
on
like
that.
What's the matter paddle?
Can I call you Paddle?
Call me Paddle.
Don't call me paddle.
I'm
love.
glad you got that, Danny.
Well, I don't know if the Nobel Prize people run a fruit section, but if they do, you've got to be this year's hot tip. Gentlemen, history beckons. You'll be famous. They'll build your statues. They'll even name towns after you. Dorksville springs instantly to mind.
This machine could revolutionise our lives.
Absolutely. With this little baby running at full pelt, I confidently predict we could have a full fruit salad by the end of the year.
This is the same year the fan club started, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
And the Smegazine.
When this went out, 92.
Yeah, the magazine started after this.
The Smegazine.
The
What a
Smegazine.
classic.
The comic. The
Classic title for a magazine.
Yeah.
about
Yeah. How many were there of those?
And the Red Dwarf Convention.
Nobody. Oh.
Kind of tangy. Sort of crunchy. Sort of tangy. Kind of chewy. Meaty even. Funny kind of wriggly texture.
And the food and drink
Wrigley,
programme with
I
that
like
woman
that.
describing the wine. It's a bit like that as well.
The triplicator has extracted all the very best elements out of one duplicate and all the very worst out of the other.
Oh, Bobby's head is kicking
blowing
again.
there.
Kicking.
Bit of pyrotechnics.
Oh,
Old Raggy was on the case there.
Scared acting.
Yeah.
No.
Look.
Yeah, sometimes you really were scared, though.
Yeah.
That was
Except you're not in that. You're not in that scene, so you weren't.
Don't worry, some big sparks going off.
Won't hit you.
That was exactly 3 boxes of standard
you
fireworks.
Had to run
that
a
was.
mile when he said that.
Yeah, sparklers, the lot in there.
Says I'm missing from my database.
Look.
Abandoned shop. This is not a daffodil. Repeat.
Oh, it's that one.
Yeah.
Abandoned shop.
Abandoned shop.
Oh.
Well, thankfully, Holly's unaffected.
Look at that. Precision. The delivery was so
beautiful.
laid back. It was
Beautifully done.
This is not a
Despite Peter
daffodil.
Rag effects going on all round.
Yeah,
you
you still could get
Gotta
the
hold your
line.
line.
Hold your line. Doesn't matter how many pyrotechnics are going off.
He was obviously given a note before that scene. Don't take no notice of the pyros.
Anyone care to join me in a quick step?
The Awooga waltz.
But Daddy, you yourself.
Oh, no,
again,
this is a classic
perfectly under
model shot.
control.
This is one of the model shots that went wrong,
Well,
wasn't it? They had to do again.
When you
Look at
walk,
that. Beautiful.
Chris, when you walk into a scene of glory,
Oh, is that the one where it
you've got to
banged
wear
to
the pants.
side?
You've got to wear the pants.
I'm
exactly.
telling you. This is the photo. This is the
still-
photo. The
still
famous photo.
photograph, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the first.
That's the one you was talking about earlier that you forgot
Ah.
just now.
Yeah, that's
See?
it there.
That's the one.
Photo.
Yeah.
Do you remember we signed
Well, we
loads of them?
signed bloody hundreds.
Yeah, we'd be doing the scene and Vaughan would climb through and say, hold it there, lads.
Yeah.
Hold it there,
Yes,
lads.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's 80 clicks. We should be clear of any possible blast zone.
You really think it's going to blow?
This can't be happening.
Very laid back. A bit of Hollywood, that line,
Just need as
wasn't
a
it?
precaution. The whole ship's full of fail-safes anyway. Coolant systems, containment panels, vacuum shields. The actual chances of it blowing are about 1 in...
And that was the original model
is-
of
yeah.
Red Dwarf, wasn't it? Which they blew to
Oh,
bits.
They
no.
actually blew it up, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have it after that. There is no model of Red Dwarf anymore.
Oh, no.
That was it.
The actual original model was massive, wasn't
That's
it?
big, yeah.
eBay's loss, isn't it?
Oh, I know. You can
It was
imagine what that
about
would have got on
8
eBay
foot
now.
long
Yeah.
or something, wasn't it?
Oh, it's huge.
The nearest asteroid with an S3 atmosphere is 6 hours away. The trouble is we only have enough fuel for 5 hours flight.
You look,
Oh, not that old problem.
The old 6-hour, 5-hour
The
conundrum.
old problem.
Classic.
Whoa.
you look
Classic
young there,
conundrum.
Bobby.
7 minutes.
Oh, well, I was quite young.
Even with the mask on.
Even
you
with the
look
mask
young.
on, I look young.
The eyes are glowing, man.
Yeah,
Lovely
glistening with health.
complexion.
Doesn't really affect us, does it?
I think
We don't need
Chris was in his little Richard Gere look there, I think.
If we ejected
Are
their
you sure?
corpses into outer
Yeah.
space, would the
All
weight
look and no gear.
allow us
That
to
was
reach
my
the
talking out of the
Yeah.
side of your mouth technique.
Yeah.
So no one notices.
To
Well,
let
no,
the
it's
audience-
porridge, isn't it? It's porridge. It's Mackay from Porridge.
Yes.
I know where you're coming from, Chris.
Mackay from Porridge.
Mackay
right.
from Porridge. Fletcher.
Fletcher.
Classic.
There are certain things that I know, Fletcher.
Yeah,
But you don't need to know, Fletcher.
That's what it's
he was, you know what? He was amazing. Physically, he's so contorted, that guy, when he did that role. It was
He really
amazing.
was.
His neck, don't forget, you did the neck as well as the mouth.
life must go on.
I don't know that we can really claim that Porridge was inspired by Red Dwarf. I mean,
Oh, it was.
yeah, I think it was a lot
Yeah.
of prison, but through
Yeah,
through a
there's a lot of
time,
prison
through a
references
rend
in
in
it.
the fabric of
No,
space time.
I think that.
Because it was written
No,
about
through the
15
times-
years earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, no, but in the thing of the time-space continuum.
Yeah, they would have seen it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
No, I think it's just as simple as the bunk scenes, kind of similar.
Yeah.
The bunk scenes were definitely Porridge-esque.
Exactly.
And as Rob and Doug were big fans of Porridge.
Oh, it was that way round.
Yeah.
But we did have a lot of trouble with this episode. I mean, because this was the one where we reshot quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Oh,
remember
it's
that.
because
on
it's
that.
confusing, isn't it?
It was-
It's
it was
three of
confusing, yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Three of everybody, and they had to talk to each other.
And I had a silver streak in my hair.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Ah, why was that?
See, you didn't notice that, did you, Bobby?
I didn't see that.
I had a silver streak in my hair. That was
It's two
Howard.
Red Dwarfs.
I told you Howard went right to the edge on this.
But there's
series.
three!
Well, presumably when I threw the triplicator into reverse, it didn't reverse the process, it reversed the field of the beam, projecting it out, not in.
I love these speeches.
Yeah.
They were so easy.
With the entire ship.
Precisely. I presume
Precisely. I knew that word.
Exposed the engine's core and caused the original to blow.
So, like the strawberries, the
Oh, so you've caught it now. You've got to explain it as well now.
divine,
And the other, rancid.
So what's the problem? We got us a ship. And from what you're saying, it should be better than the original.
Not quite.
In the lab, the triplicated copies had a limited lifespan.
No, he's still explaining it.
Lifespan, yeah.
Ah, yeah.
A solution. The contents of the ship should be triplicated too. So there will be a working triplicator on board which
Well,
has
yeah,
a
that's right,
triplicator.
triplicator. You're going to have to, yeah. Bobby, in this speech, you got the word triplicator 8 times.
Which triplicated makes it 24 times.
See, it could be triplicate or triplicator.
Now, the high versions, I did like doing them because I had a really comfy cloak on. But one of the things I didn't like was another raggy thing, which was the explosive on the thigh. I got an inner thigh burn.
Did you?
During
Inner thigh burn?
during the death of the High Crichton, yeah.
Isn't that just outside
Inner thigh burn. It's
Swindon?
quite near Swindon.
The music is high.
I see. It's all high now. It's all lovely.
a
Nice
ring
boots,
road.
Dan. Cool boots.
Look at those boots. I mean, I told you. Look,
Hey.
good shot. That I like that camera shot.
Yeah.
Now, see, now the boots have gone. I look
Yeah.
stubby again.
Yeah.
Hey, let's check the food. What did you order? Ultimate test. Pot noodle.
Does it say? It doesn't say.
It does.
I'll tell you one thing.
We're allowed to say pot noodle. It's a bit weird, isn't it? That we're allowed to say
Not a
pot
generic.
noodle.
It's not a generic term, is it? It's a brand name. Isn't it?
Brand name, yeah.
I'd taste an edible.
How come we're allowed to say that?
Brothers, we bid you welcome.
Ah, they were lovely. the
Magnificent.
Highlands.
You do not understand. Come.
Yeah.
Very nice.
You're me, but you're not me. I am
The
Oh,
old
God,
split
you're
screen,
the
a
split
classic split
screen.
screen.
Yeah, really.
How many times would we have crossed that line? Beautifully done. Look
How
at
do you
that.
do it? No idea.
Very clever.
from your being. Strap or waterlated? But there is no way you're a part of me. No part of me would ever be seen alive in sandals.
I forgot about that.
It's a distraction from the pursuit of spiritual and
This
intellectual.
was Juliet May's
That's
first
weird, because I find
episode,
spiritual
wasn't it, that she
intellectual-
did?
Was it the first one we did?
Director, yeah. And I mean, imagine starting with
Oh,
this.
really difficult.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Perhaps then
Well, you know what I mean. It's not like you didn't know what you was letting yourself in for.
No, I don't reckon
Well,
she
you could,
did.
yeah, but you could read the script of this and still have no idea of actually how
Yeah.
it would be to
Yeah,
do
but
it.
if you would have looked at the past 4 series,
Yes, that's true. That would give you a
you
bit
know,
of a
it
clue.
wouldn't have been
Ah,
a big
there's
surprise.
High Rimmer and High Crichton. Look at them, aren't they lovely?
Hi, Rimmer. Hi, Crichton.
Crichton.
Pair of losers.
More visitors. Come, soul sibling, let us
It's the
prepare-
dance.
Soul Sibling.
Soul sibling.
Oh, the dance.
Wait till you see the dance.
the
Wait till
dance.
you see the dance.
Look.
That's the walk.
Absolutely.
That's not the dance.
No,
is
no,
it?
no, the
That's
dance.
the walk.
Don't you wait for
These
it.
are our higher selves. They are the people we could have become if all the negative aspects
And now,
of our
when I had to sit
characters
down
were
there, I had to have quite a lot of groinal adjustment. I do believe.
Jesus.
Crichton
yeah.
didn't do a lot of cross-legged sitting.
No.
I think you're probably sitting on more than the chair there, Bobby.
This is my guess. Your mind records everything. Everything you see, hear, every word you read, every
Not as glittery as the last show,
No.
the suit.
There's a bit of glitter there. Well, like metallic, I like to think of it.
No, I still think it's glitter. myself.
That's glitter with Dan, though. That is
Oh,
serious
that's-
glitter.
My quiff's a little bit.
Well,
I
it's
like
a bit
that white
gone.
line, though. That's quite freaky, the white line. I
Yeah,
don't,
the
I don't
silver.
remember that, Dan. Yeah.
Dickie Davis
It
type.
looks,
It is,
yeah.
isn't it? It's a bit of a it's a tribute to Dickie Davis.
Dickie
Although a lot of
Davis.
people say that
Mrs.
Dickie was influenced
Gandhi.
by Red Dwarf.
Well, he was, I think. Yeah.
Of course he was.
World of
Ah,
Sport.
here we go. We're getting a little dance now.
Looks like you were doing your roots and you left the stuff on.
readings, poetry recitals,
Poetry.
and musings on the inner soul.
It's
But
the
first,
triangle that gets me.
Music and dance.
Oh, yes.
Look, see, I told you. Look, it's Martha Graham. Look at. Oh dear.
Oh, lovely
Very.
bit of juggling there, Dan.
Look,
Very
look,
nice.
look.
The cold night of the soul, teasing,
teasing. Look, Can you believe we did this, Chris?
I cannot believe
Can you believe we did that? And you were worried about tongue
Look at
tied.
Hi Holly. I don't remember that. That's
Chris,
lovely.
Chris
Look
was
at
worried
Holly.
about dancing in tongue tied. Look at the state
I
of
like
that.
Hi Holly.
She's lovely.
Come on.
Then we must help them.
That's one of my few
That was
costume changes.
Yeah, you had a costume change.
I had a whole costume change in this episode.
Oh, it must have been lovely.
Oh, that was just appalling.
But you know what, Chris?
Yeah.
Performed with conviction.
It was. It was done, it was done
just
from the
made it
heart, Chris.
believable.
Exactly,
Done
and
from the
that's
heart.
coming from a real
Did it to the
dancer.
hilt.
That's real
Yeah.
praise.
No, listen, didn't you see the way I came in?
Oh.
He was whooping me, man.
Oh, we gave it joy.
Teasing.
This is the... Now, the low ones...
Ooh,
That was a
low.
great thing, you know, you wear
Oh,
a
yeah.
costume in this show which is really hot and uncomfortable, and then they get another costume that goes on top of it that is even hotter and more uncomfortable.
Look, how the hell did they do that? I don't know. It was
Costume
classic.
on a costume.
Yeah.
That's
This was the
great.
most uncomfortable
It was,
costume
wasn't it?
ever.
For all of us, I think.
The next... Yeah. Oh.
That's the old football injury there, Chris.
That's what did it.
Yeah, it was that. It wasn't that. It wasn't scoring that goal. I know this was what hurt.
Oh,
That-
this is
that
funny.
definitely hurt the old leg.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you had fire charges
Yeah,
on it.
on a loose-fitting thing,
Oh, no.
and they were quite big. Although, Raggy, that one, that was the leg one. Ouch, that hurt.
Oh.
See, Dad? I can only hope.
The poor wretch. There's a faulty gun. He's accidentally shot me 5 times. Oh, how I love him.
The yin and yang sign.
Is a grievous fault with thine weapon.
Those little bum bags.
Shooting people.
Ooh.
They were quite big, weren't they, Dad? Do you remember? They definitely
That
went
is-
bang.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw that
That
on
one
line.
definitely
That
is gonna
burnt,
go
didn't that
bang.
burn someone's toe?
Yeah.
I'm sure that burnt my toe or
I think it
someone's
did,
toe.
yeah, it burnt your toe down.
Vibrations. Oh, it's exquisite, divine. What does it say to you, brother?
Oh.
That's right, it burnt my toe, that
Yeah,
thing.
it did, didn't it? You got quite a nasty burn.
Do you remember?
A lot of injuries
My
on
big
this
toe.
show. Yeah.
Was scorched,
Are you still
mate.
living off the insurance money?
Yeah,
aren't
no,
you?
it's absolutely... I've forgotten about Lister.
These
Oh,
are
my
great.
goodness me.
He's like one of them dodgy perverts.
That is naughty.
Well, the thing is that it should have been an enormous amount of fun playing the lows, but I can remember it being very uncomfortable and painful. That's my abiding memory of it. But it looks like really good fun now.
Yeah.
I remember that. Now, do you remember that? God, if Craigie was here, the back of his head.
Oh.
I injured my hand on the back of his head when we practiced that one.
Here's Johnny.
The music's
Streets
interesting.
of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's like Streets of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Well, Streets of Putney or something like that.
Is it sort of vaguely dated, the music?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was then, though.
Mission
It would have been,
Impossible.
yeah, it would have been cliched thriller music.
Cliche TV.
TV thriller, made for TV thriller.
Ah, here he comes.
Well, hey.
Hello, my pretty.
Look at that.
Okay, that was fantastic.
Howard really had it in for you, didn't he, Chris?
No, but it's the
I don't know what
the
you've
head,
done to
look.
upset him.
Who does the head look like, though? It is someone. It's
Marilyn Manson.
Mark Armand.
Mark Armand.
Isn't
yeah.
it? Soft Cell. Yeah, there's definitely...
Hint of Mark Armand. That's
Definitely
another
a-
Body Shop product, isn't it?
Look, Mark Armand. Oh, dairy me. Don't mention the...
I'm going to.
Don't mention it, Dan.
Don't
First thing.
mention it.
No, don't mention
That's
it.
it's a
What?
good look, though, Chris. You should
What?
go for that.
Yeah.
Well, I know
probably not in
nobody
front of the
doesn't want
kids,
to.
you know.
You definitely don't want to know the
No,
showbiz
it's
facts
sort of
about that.
No,
do
no,
you?
we don't know.
No, you don't want to know that, do you, Chris?
Well, it's kind of Rocky Horror, I suppose, isn't it?
Well,
that had pins and sticking in the wrong places. That was just evil, that.
Running short of time. We have less than 20 minutes to find the second trip
unreal.
and set it up. I suggest we divide our efforts.
A sage suggestion, brother.
Perhaps I should go with Brother Cat.
Oh,
You haven't got a
hold on.
weapon.
What's going on?
No need of weapons.
Oh,
feline
can you
brother,
see?
we wear
What's
them.
that? Can you
What,
see?
you?
I can't.
See
Which one?
you.
Which one's me?
There you are.
Oh, sorry.
This is the scene we had to reshoot. Do you remember? This was on the last day. We had to reshoot this whole sequence.
Why?
ready.
Yeah, I can't remember why. I mean, it didn't work the first time. I'm sure it was something to do with that.
You look like Kelly Osbourne there.
Yeah, I quite
There's a
like
bit
the
of Kelly
black
there,
wig.
yeah. You got a lot of cozies in
You
this
like
hat.
Kelly Osbourne
Yeah.
for real there.
Oh, how do we do that? That's realistic.
Presumably those things retracted.
One hopes they retract.
Yeah, or they...
Look.
He's great, buddy.
Little.
Nothing works here, man. Everything is in decay. And here is how we're going to get it.
Of course not. He hasn't turned
Look,
you on.
It's Kelly Osbourne.
It is, it's Kelly Osbourne. Well, now you can see where that, her whole...
Oh, she stole your whole look.
Yeah,
she stole your whole look.
She would have watched this
And
many
Susie
times.
the Banshees.
Susie, she got her idea from this.
He applauds our efforts.
Maybe he'd like to go for a little walk.
Game over now.
Got 2 bananas in your mouth, then.
No, he applauds. Do you remember? Remember the film The Robe, Chris? You sound just like that guy.
The Robe or the Robe?
The Robe.
The Robe.
The Julius Caesar part. And he, by the power of this robe, I order you to rise.
Whoops.
I think this was the one where I gave Craig and Jake a lift back.
Perhaps
Was it?
you like something to eat.
Same story, different episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you guys have got to be yanking my chain.
Was this the one with... What's
This
in
is
there?
a tarantula.
Oh, I remember him. He had a keeper and everything.
Yeah,
that
he was real, wasn't he?
He was a real star tarantula. I actually held that tarantula. He didn't
Do you
really
remember
eat
it
it,
had,
though.
No, not the real one.
It had
No animals
mechanical.
were hurt
It had
in the
mechanical.
No.
It had mechanical legs, but how
yeah.
comes we didn't see it?
Yeah.
Must have been a pony one.
It was a real one to
He's a
begin
little
with.
boy who, on a hot summer's day, held a magnifying
Look at the state of his head.
neck and
Huh?
He had his own dressing room, didn't he?
Look like Grease Monkey, mate.
he's the part of you that wants all your friends to
And as for that dodgy geezer there, with a crooked H.
That is a crooked H.
part
isn't
of
it?
you that
Yeah,
lusts
well, it's 'cause
after
he's
meaningless
crooked.
sex.
I told you.
Oh, that was
He's cruel.
unpleasant.
He's selfish. He thinks terrible things.
But he kills. I'm not capable of that.
You'll soon see about that.
Was that a nicotine patch?
I think it was a very big nicotine
Did
patch.
stop him smoking,
no, it
though,
didn't stop.
didn't it?
Stopped him for about a minute. Till the next take.
Splat gore monster. Die screaming with sharp things in your head.
Gore movies, weapons magazines. Oh, this place is a shrine to everything that's low and base. Everything that's designed to sicken the soul and shrivel the spirit. Ugh, toasty toppers. Ugh. Cinema hot dogs. Oh, sweaty kebabs with stringy brown lettuce coming out. Oh,
Look at this music. Hammond heaven. Karaoke crazy. Be the perfect place, tuneful tunes for
It's
elderly
definitely
ladies.
one of those one-off Red Dwarf episodes that.
here it is.
At the end
a
of the
popular
day.
show, though. I mean,
It's
people have
popular.
mentioned it many times. You know, they always,
one.
the highs and the lows.
They always like the ones that we don't.
Costumes.
I mean, the costumes are fantastic.
Not that we
The
dislike
sets are
any of
brilliant.
them, Bob.
No,
but,
no.
you know, but
Today, how much I love
I
you,
know,
brother.
this is funny.
How much my heart glimmers like a newborn star when I gaze upon thine beauteous countenance.
Thy love refreshes and cleanses me like a babbling mountain stream.
Ah, there you go,
this
Chris.
is the
There's your
Babbling
Babbling
Mountain
Mountain
Stream
Stream.
you're on about.
Freshes and cleanses.
This yonder, your likeness, brother.
A knife. Are you hungry, brother?
I have some pulses and a little curd for your refreshment.
Pulses and a little curd.
Ugh. So we've heard before.
Forgive me, brother. I appear to have stained thy knife end with my
Anything
blood.
with a pulse, eh?
1,000 apologies.
Brother, permit me to furnish you with a fresh knife.
Farewell, brother. My brook is babbled.
My brook is babbled, yes. One of my favourite little linettes.
Yes. That's a good sound effect.
Yeah, good butt, Bobby. That looked very painful.
Very painful.
No sign of dormouse cheeks, though.
Sure, we were so worried.
Dormouse cheeks.
We were ambushed by a platoon of lows.
How often has he been called dormouse cheeks? Not at all.
Oh, I tell you what, but that's a Rob Grant line. That.
Yeah.
There's no. I tell you what. Do you remember the in rehearsals once they Rob did a caricature of Craig, and I made a badge out of it and went to the canteen. He went nuts.
Hey, there he is. What took you so long, buddy?
What? Look out! I'm going to kill you! I'm a homicidal maniac! My body's being remote controlled by the lows! Look out!
No!
You gotta stop me!
Shoot him!
What?
Blow his kneecaps off, it's the only way.
Give me a break, Rimmer.
He's a homicidal maniac. Put him down.
Must be some other way. You got incapacitate.
Why are we watching this now? Why should we be talking?
It's like we've never seen it before.
Yeah, that's very exciting. It gets very dramatic.
Yeah.
We should know all these stories off by heart.
Yeah.
What happens next? What happens
The thing I'm finding really hard to work out is what we shot in front of audiences and what we did pre-record.
Yeah.
This one feels like a lot of it was, but this was probably in front of the audience, this bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, there probably wasn't much in front of the audience in this one.
I don't think there would have been.
No, I remember, no, there wasn't, was there? Because all the highs and lows together had
Yeah,
to
it
be
would have been impossible,
pre-recorded.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
So it might. I wonder if it was one.
But I'm thinking the motorbike.
You couldn't do it even with the
was it says,
explosives.
discovered by Mel Bibby on site at Shepperton. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Was it lit?
I don't think so.
I think it was revving up outside.
They'd run out of spots. They had 4 spots, 1 for each actor.
Right.
The bike had to go.
Nothing for the scene.
It was parked outside the spaceship.
How long before the triplicator activates?
Less than 2 minutes.
No, there's always you've got to have 2 minutes. If he'd have said 2 seconds, then what would we have done? Be ready.
Yeah.
You've got to have 2 minutes. It's a classic science fiction convention. A bit of running action.
Science fiction convention.
Ah, yes.
Have you been to any?
Never.
Convenient.
Damn, flat battery. Who left the lights on?
No, it's the magnetic coils. They've depolarized. It's as if the decay on this ship is in some way contagious.
35 seconds.
Try the backup.
Backup. You've got to have backup.
Let's get out of here.
Yep, all systems check.
It's good seeing him in the background.
Yeah.
See him coming in. Ah.
Not again. Watch me a steering. Chloroform him.
Oh, wait. I think I've
Chloroform him. Captain
Chloroform.
Chloroform.
Is that where it's called Captain Chloroform in this one?
Now, see, a spinal implant, you see, I've written a book about a spinal implant. And I didn't realise that I was influenced by Red Dwarf. The first people who used spinal implants were here.
Uh-huh.
See, it's all really come from. Well, you don't know though. Nobody's nicked anything from Red Dwarf. They don't know they're influenced by it. It's that strong a cultural influence on the world. Nobody has a clue.
Holly's back.
Mr. Lister, wake up, sir. It's over. We're safe now.
Engaging autopilot, call 00 Mark 0. Taking her home.
Yes, I can definitely say that Demons and Angels probably isn't one of my...
It's not one of your favourites.
Not my favourites,
Yeah.
no.
Blue song? Look at it. Plus, you almost killed me 3 times. Sorry.
I think there's great creativity in it.
Yeah,
of
amazing
course.
imagination. I mean, yeah.
Sir, what's wrong?
I think he just sat in a spinal implant.
But it doesn't make sense. Who's controlling him? I better remove the spinal implant and destroy it once and for all.
Wait a minute. Just give me 1 week. That's all I ask.
What are you talking about?
Boy, this is gonna be fun.
I went real Yankee there at the end. Boy, this is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Now, so who gets the directorial credit on this? Because this was Julia and Robin Doug.
Was it?
No,
Yeah,
no.
there was a combination because we reshot a lot of it with
was
Robin Doug. Yeah.
Let's see if he was very gracious and gave it to her as a going away
I
present.
think it was Juliet.
Well, no
Go on,
wonder.
you've still got time. Put bets on.
Yeah.
So, do you think this is why she doesn't call us for any of her drama gigs?
Could be. It could be.
Is she working on drama now?
Yeah, she does a lot.
Well, she's working, I'll tell you.
Sounds of Keith Mays, John,
If
Mel,
you're out,
Stephen.
If you're out there, I think
Julian
you're a
Scott.
wonderful director.
Director
Julian.
Juliet Mann, Grant Naylor, there we go.
And
So,
I
joint
think
one.
that I need to be at least in one of your dramas. I don't care what these guys think, but I think you're fabulous.
This is Back to Reality from Red Dwarf 5. It's Robert Llewellyn speaking here, and we're very excited to see this particular
What a fine
episode.
speaker you are,
Well,
Bobby.
I mean, you know, it's so good. This is one of my favourite all-time Red Dwarf shows, Back to Reality. Featuring, I don't want to...
What happens in it then?
Your excitement's rubbing off on me.
I mean, I think the whole room is now bubbling with excitement.
bubbling with
It's
excitement.
a babbling brook of
Oh,
excitement.
sorry, I moved my drink away from the
I've
mic.
got a bit of a
Must be
Hugh
that.
Hefner coming on. I don't know about you guys.
But it does feature Jake Bullitt, and I mean, you know, there's some characters that stay with you for life.
Jake Bullitt.
Jake Bullitt was one of them.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
And Dwayne.
Dwayne!
I think we see Dwayne.
Dwayne Diblett.
Yeah.
Dwayne, man. Oh,
we're
boy.
spoiling the surprises.
I know, we shouldn't spoil the surprise.
Surprise?
Some underwater work.
For some people won't have seen
Fantastic.
this
Look at that
before.
underwater
A lot of people
shots.
didn't realise Starbug could go underwater, but
No,
it can.
that's Peter Regg in the bath with his Kodak.
It is. Starbug can do anything.
Ident details.
That's 'cause we kept saying that Stingray was better.
Ocean seeding ship. Mission to introduce oceanic life to potential S3 planets.
But it kicks off with a fairly boring scene of
What are you
Rimmer
looking at
reading
there,
off
do you
a
think?
readout
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You know, not
No, it doesn't-
giving away.
It's
what
not giving away, is it? No.
excitement,
You could
we're
watch that
about
and
to
think,
have.
oh, this is another bog standard Red Dwarf coming up.
Exactly.
Topped even their best projections.
And Pomfrey making it even darker so that you really can't
So
see what's
you're
going
really
on.
underwater. Oh,
A
lucky
whistle.
you.
I've never done a
Lucky
whistle. I
You,
didn't know
Bobby.
Crichton could whistle.
You got a light?
Yeah.
Then it stops.
The question which occurs,
Oh!
if this ocean is supposed to be teeming with...
Is that you, Dan?
He's got
Is
a
that
bit of
me?
green gel.
No, that's great. That's great.
Are you sure? Hold on, it's Craig of Dock Green.
This was one of the first things we shot of the series, though, this actual scene. This was in the pumping station.
That's
In
right.
the old drippy pumping station where you could bang your head very easily, which I did.
Yeah, when we was on
Your
location.
real head or your
Yeah.
fake head?
Real and fake.
Oh,
Went through both.
Just,
Was it Sunbury
Is that
or was
you,
it
Danny?
Sunbury.
Yeah.
I think this
Yeah.
was Sunbury.
I think so.
Birds from South.
Is that your teeth?
How do they breathe?
That's great. That's, no. Come in, got a laugh. Only saw my mouth.
Ah.
Great.
Getting this.
Got it.
Oh, it's the Michelin Man costume again. Look.
Human,
Here we
male,
go.
Caucasian, cause of death, gunshot wound to the head. From the entry and exit wounds, most likely self-inflicted.
Here's another one.
Ooh.
No, I think beautiful lighting.
Yeah.
Take my hat off to Pomp once again.
No, he did a brilliant job. Considering he was working in an old pumping station, he did an
Yeah.
amazing job.
No, John's
What
a
is that
genius.
pumping station the rest of the time?
It's now a museum, I believe. You
Of
can go
what?
round it.
Yeah.
Old pumping
Of
stations.
pumping.
You can go and look
Well,
at
about-
how they used to pump in the olden days.
Oh, dear.
About 50 shows were made thereafter.
Well, I'm
loads
off
of
there
shows.
now.
Well, Chitty
Bye,
Chitty
folks,
Bang
I'm
Bang,
off.
the Toot Sweet song was recorded in the Sunbury pumping station.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, if you see that movie, you see the whole thing, the big room.
Yeah.
That
So we
that
weren't the
Sunbury pumping-
first to
no,
use it then?
No, but
No.
although I
Oh,
believe that
no.
through a warp, a
Through a
rend,
time-space continuum,
Yeah.
they actually
copied
copied
us.
us.
they copied us, yeah.
They copied us.
Guys, I'm getting something. He committed suicide.
Even down to the pony accent.
He committed suicide, and the fish committed suicide.
And
Do
apparently...
you know, it's a myth about Dick Van Dyke's accent, because in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, he reverted to an American accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only in Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins
Mary
that he did the
Poppins.
classic Cockney accent, which influenced a great many East Londoners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including Forrest Whitaker.
They filmed Lord of the Rings, all three in
Denzel-
that Sunbury
actually,
pumping
Denzel-
station.
The whole thing was done there, was it?
Yeah, apparently. That or the
Denzel
Matrix.
Washington's accent in Queen and Country wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Oh, good. I like the running shots.
Entering airlock. Repressurizing now.
But when they did the history of the Sunbury pumping station, they filmed that somewhere else, apparently.
Yeah. Now, this is one of the ones where a
was
lot
too
of time,
expensive by
a lot
then.
of time and expense was
Yeah.
developing the despair squid, wasn't it? Which you don't actually ever see.
Yeah.
No.
Despair.
Did you see it originally?
I never saw it. I never saw
No,
it.
I
I
don't
don't
think
believe
so.
in the despair squid, actually. I think it's a myth.
It's a greatly reduced dose, but we may find that we do experience pouch.
I remember this.
Yes, I do remember.
I remember this. This was quality, Bob.
I'm okay.
This is the quality one.
This is quality. That.
It's true, I don't think anyone's ever truly loved me in my entire life. There's nothing new about that.
You got those tissues again.
Guys, this is like Saturday night at the Wailing Wall. Why is it always me that has to be the strong one? I mean, you guys would just fall apart.
We should get back as soon as we can and then take a mood stabilizer, suggest lithium
Bobby,
carbonate.
you started that ball rolling and we took it up.
And you just took it up beautifully.
That's
I
it.
think you guys, poetry in motion,
Look,
you're working well.
Troy Tempest.
On the sonoscope the size of New Mexico. And it's heading your way.
I think our friend the suicide squid is about to make an appearance.
Where is it precisely?
I like the submarine sound.
Yeah.
And hold on, Starbug's not a submarine.
Oh, it can be though, Dan.
Oh, sorry.
Dive,
It
dive.
It can be
can be
anything.
anything. Sorry.
I was
Periscope.
right. It's only 1,000
What was that other show with the submarine that we used to
Das
run
Boot.
Das Boot.
Das
Morning Departure.
Yeah.
Stingray.
Under the
Any
sea.
one of
no,
those
no,
films
the other
that
one.
could
It
have
was
nicked the
10,000
soundtrack
Leagues
from
Under
for
the
this.
Sea.
That was a publicity still as well.
Yeah, it was, wasn't
Ah.
it? Yeah.
This venom, are we safe?
Voyage to the bottom of the
sea.
sea.
That was a classic.
Is-
In fact, if you look at the Dwarf Cossies, the beige jobs, it was the same as Voyage.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah.
They copied us there.
They copied us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collision.
Do we move or stay?
You know,
25 knots, 35, 50.
because don't forget, we had military beige and they had ocean beige.
Yeah. Slight difference in beige.
Killers, eaters,
Yeah.
or humpers.
Oh, there are...
Killers, eaters, or humpers. I remember that line.
I think I would feel in the morning.
Okay, we're going to try and outrun it. Holly, hit the power and give me manual.
He has a very big bath, though. You've got to remember that.
Yeah,
Peter
no,
Ragg.
no, it
was
doesn't
huge.
matter. If
Now,
there's-
here's this display squid. That's all you ever saw,
yeah,
was the
but-
shadow. Which I think is always better, as they discovered in Jaws, which is
I
also
think,
influenced by this.
I think that Peter Ragg actually played the despair squid.
Ah, was it Pete?
It looks
Could
like
have been, couldn't it?
That's a
Yeah.
sign of advanced movie making.
Look out!
Ah, no, that was a big explosion, wasn't it, that one? Boom, boom, that was it.
Well, now that wasn't in front of a studio audience. if I
No, they
remember
couldn't, because of the
rightly.
debris, it was dangerous. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
There's the...
Now, do you remember this
punchline.
script? This was the script where they
This
had
was
the little
scary.
jokes in for us.
None of us did, if you remember right.
Yeah, no, we didn't, except this ball.
Red Dwarf. As with all role-playing,
I
This
like
was
this,
a
though.
very difficult opening scene to keep a straight face on.
Yeah, this was so. This was in front. This is what the audience first saw, wasn't it? This
is it.
sequence.
Absolutely mad.
Absolutely right, yeah.
And this was the,
Do you remember
the
this,
hollow
Chris?
ship
It was
set.
so
We used the same
hard
set,
to
wasn't it?
focus because we were just laughing at each other.
Yeah. When Dwayne Dibley appeared,
Oh, yeah.
it was just
Well,
really
I
hard to
looked
keep
down
going.
the line at you lot, and I was just like, I was half laughing.
Yeah.
welcome back to reality.
I mean, look.
That's
I
it,
mean,
'cause Craig's got that
wig
hair.
and Robert's head. I was already
Yeah.
gone.
This is a very, very bad dream.
And then
right?
when look,
Yeah,
it's
that's it.
bread.
It's the dad out
It's
of
the
bread,
dad out
yeah.
of bread.
Yeah.
I'm half human.
Oh, dearie me, it's RoboCop.
Look at that wig, Dad. Beautiful.
I can load from beer bottles with my overbite.
Very amusing.
And there's
Oh,
Tim.
he was great. He was so great.
He was brilliant.
You're right as right in 20 minutes.
I danced,
Just right in 20 minutes. Yeah, very nice.
try. I danced with him at the Christmas party.
Did you?
But you know, he's not from Birmingham.
No, he's Londoner, isn't he?
But he always gets asked to do a Bromley.
Yeah.
So, how'd you get killed then? Some kind of squid. The despair squid. There's no way that should have killed you. Why didn't you use the laser cannons? It's obvious.
Starbug didn't have a laser cannon capability.
You twonk. You used the laser cannons on the crash... What's it? Esperanto. That's how you get out of it.
How were we supposed to know that, you brummy git?
Esperanto, that's a
Hold
clue,
on.
isn't it?
This is crazy.
Esperanto. Hope. Hope defeats despair. The despair squid. It's a blatant clue, isn't it? Blatant. Blooming heck, if you didn't get that, you must have been playing like
So,
puddings.
Bobby, will you pray tell us, what is that you've got on your head?
It is an old tin can, I think, there, Chris. Used that,
Is that a Howard Burden job?
It was a bit of a Howard... I don't know, no, it would have been an Andrea Pennell job.
Would it?
Definitely, yeah. She would have got a bit of, I think, an old tuna, catering tuna can.
They're separated to begin with, then basically, it's a love story across time, space, death and reality. You must have got the easy stuff, that. Here, what did you think of the planet of the nymphomaniacs?
The planet of the what?
What, you missed?
I think that our guest cast member had a bit of a nerve attack.
Yeah. And sort of didn't...
Swallowed a lot of the lines.
Swallowed the lines.
Yeah.
But he was very good, and it was I found it very encouraging, and hats off to Tim, because he had...
Yeah.
The second take was unbelievable.
No, Tim did
This is
brilliantly.
the second take.
This is the second take you're seeing
Oh,
now,
yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do
I
a
think we all
crap
just
first
relaxed
take
a
and then
little
use
bit.
that one,
Did a
would
second
you?
one and it was fine.
Well, he'd
Little
never,
as I
he'd
know
never,
about
he'd never done a
POVs.
sitcom before.
And he never had.
He'd never done a
so
sitcom.
he'd never done a
He
recording in
wasn't
front of an
used to it.
audience. Yeah.
That's a clue. It's a blatant clue, isn't it?
A blatant clue to what?
A blatant clue to the truth behind Rimmer.
What truth?
The truth to why he's such an insufferable prat.
That's because of his parents. Is that...
Don't you remember Rob and Doug scaring us with this, saying that there was going to be more serious, but it was going to be the next generation
Yeah,
of...
because they're the other cast, didn't they?
Yeah, the other cast
Yeah.
in waiting.
He was a
Was I the only one that believed it?
He has memory erase and was programmed to act like a glitch.
Oh, that's right. There was
It's
the other
kind
cast.
of
Is
turned
that in
out
this
to be true
episode?
in some way.
What other
Yeah,
cast?
yeah, they come in at the end.
You know
you see
the
the
new ones that come
the
in.
new cast of Red
Yeah.
Dwarf.
Playing the Red Dwarf game.
Yeah, the Chinese guy was playing
Yeah.
me.
With jump leads from Starbuck.
Jump starts the second Big Bang.
Well, that's the final irony, isn't it? Lister, the ultimate...
It's a hell of a scene, though, for him, isn't
It's,
it?
yeah,
oh, it's a big scene.
great.
It's a you know,
Huge scene.
It's all in the captain's message. It's all in the microdots. Hang on a minute. Are you seriously telling me you were playing the Pratt version of Rimmer for all that time? For 4 years? Oh, well, that's a classic, Daddy. That's a classic.
with the hand.
All right, lads.
Yeah,
Yes,
the other
yeah.
cast.
Yeah.
Lister. Right.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah, very handsome boy.
Bio feedback catheter. It's all there. You can stop plugging
Oh.
yourself in.
Feedback.
Feedback
Catheter.
catheter.
Wipe up with a catheter, will you? Hey, some bloke did that. We didn't spot it for 2 days. OK, Crichton, in you go, son.
Oh, he's a bit
OK,
handsome and
catch
tall.
Rimmer. Give us a bit of room here, will you, please?
Got a wig on.
He's got Ace Rimmer's
We don't
wig
know
on.
who we are. Our memories haven't returned yet.
The Recuperation Lounge. I keep telling you. Blimey, I wonder you only scored 4%. God, what a bunch of twonks.
Now, is that word caught on?
Twonk. Not so much.
Not as
much
much.
as not as much as Smeg.
I'm not me, am I?
None of
Not
us are
who
going to
we thought we were, sir.
find out who we really
Takes some
are.
getting used to.
That's a lovely head, actually. It's very well done, isn't it?
Did you keep that metal thing?
No, wish I had.
Is that a wig, Chris?
Yes.
But that is
actually.
Danny's real hair.
That's Hayridge. It's certainly a wig.
Either running away from God knows what.
Craig looks rather... I always thought Craig looked rather dashing with that wig. It suits him, doesn't it?
Is there a Dwayne Dibley in here?
Pardon?
Dwayne Dibley.
No, sorry.
Who was that?
Wait a minute. How do you know there's no
That
one called Dwayne Dibley
was
in here?
Marie McCarthy.
No, this is right. Dibley. This is the Dibley party. Which one's Dwayne Dibley?
That's so sweet, Dan. You look so sweet like that.
Cute. I bet that's what you looked like.
I don't want to be Dwayne Dibley.
I bet you looked like that at 7.
Here are your party's clothes and possessions. The medical officer will be down in 20 minutes.
Quite actually, I'm watching.
Those teeth, though, they were
Name,
fantastic.
address on it and everything.
No, it's well,
There's an anorak in here.
no, the wig itself actually wasn't, you know, because you know my wigs were very expensive, and so we went to Marsden to get a wig for Dwayne Dibley, and of course it was just like this. It literally was this wig in the storeroom at the bottom of the box in the corner that was just there. It was
No one's going to want to use this one.
dusted it off, and he goes, "You can have that free."
Oh.
Yeah. So we actually got Dwayne Dibley.
The teeth
wig
were expensive,
for
though,
nothing.
weren't they?
Oh, the teeth. Yeah.
They were made by real dentists, weren't they?
Yeah, they're real. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they're real dentures, yeah.
Yeah,
In
I
fact,
mean,
he,
not
he
like...
still does my teeth now.
Does he? He's good. He was a good bloke, wasn't he? 'Cause we
In
all like
fact,
him.
and they
I'm
still
seeing
look like
him
that now.
tomorrow at 2:30.
There you go.
2:30?
Yeah.
Chinese
2:30.
dentist?
Adrian Mills.
Oh, 2:30.
I'm seeing Adrian tomorrow at 2:30.
2:30.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have a right go at him about them teeth.
Yeah.
Whoever I am, I'm not going to take any crap from whoever you are. So before you start...
Where he
Did I
knows.
use the C word then?
Where he knows.
Crap. I think I said crap. That's
Oh,
very
yeah,
good.
that...
Of course, it was post-watershed, so you could see.
being ordered around by whatever the kind
Oh,
of
on there?
Clear?
On there?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant just now talking.
Right, this one's you.
Oh, well, who am I?
Wow. You're a detective?
in the cybernautic division of the police department.
Now, I have still got that prop.
Have you?
Yeah, my kids play with it.
Oh, nice.
Jake Bullett's wallet.
God, don't let them get their dirty,
I know.
jammy fingers all over it.
I've got my Dwayne Dibley.
Have you?
Identification.
Everyone was stealing then, were they?
With the photo and everything.
I didn't have
one of my
anything
favourite
to nick.
speeches.
Yeah.
That sounds like the kind of hard-living...
I didn't even take the black polo neck jumper.
Cutting corners and bucking off.
I could have had that tiara back on the last day.
Well, they can park their overpaid fat asses.
Classic shot, best shot in the series, this, look.
Swivel till they squeal like pigs on a honeymoon.
No, it's from there, this, look.
Mr. Bullet, perhaps the cybernautics division
Watch
is
the
in
finger.
charge of traffic control.
You forgot that, didn't you?
I forgot that then, yeah.
Point, sir.
Classic.
I didn't think of that.
Dwayne Dibley?
So, whoever you are, who's next?
I don't want to know. Someone else look.
Stand aside. Let the law handle this. No photograph. Name, Billy Doyle.
Not necessarily.
Billy Doyle.
It's not necessarily me.
Billy Doyle.
This is when Craig was in his element, though, wasn't it? When he was playing suave,
Yeah.
James Bondy types, you know what I mean? Knowing that he'd never get a broccoli gig ever.
The wife will be all white shoes, no tights, and blotchy legs.
The wife.
Take up petty crime to cover the court orders for maintenance. Before he knows it, he's standing in a bank with a sawn-off shotgun. Somehow it goes off. An old lady gets both barrels through a crocheted bobble hat. All he can do is hide. But where? And then it hits him. With his ill-gotten gains, he can buy 4 years in a computer game and wait till the heat's off. So ends the ballad of Billy Granny Killer Doyle.
It's yours.
The audience do seem shocked, don't they? Do seem a state of shock.
I know, it freaked
I
people
mean,
out.
like
this
we
one,
were.
didn't it? Yeah.
Oh, well, we were when we read it, really. Because we didn't know if it was the very last episode ever.
Yeah.
William Doyle. Good old Bill Doyle. You know, that sounds like a hell of a good name to me.
Each time we never knew if it was the last
We never
ever
knew.
episode.
Each episode we never
I know,
knew it was the
yeah,
last
each episode.
You know, I think it's all beginning to come back to me now.
What puzzles me slightly is what a man of such undoubted good
I just saw the bottom of Craig's
foot. Wearing a coat that smells
I
like
hope
an
that was
elderly male
set
yak
makeup,
sticking a lid
yeah.
in both the pockets.
Yeah.
Rather than verrucas.
No, it isn't.
Oh, my God. My name's Billy Doyle, and my cologne is eau de yak urine.
Yak urine.
So who am I then?
Nice cases. Did anybody get one of them? I never got
Yeah,
one
did
of
you
them.
get a case?
No, I didn't get a case.
Look at my gear.
Presumably those cases are part of the Max
This
Reality
stuff's really, really
thing where
expensive.
you, like bowling shoes, you know, you sort of leave it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the...
You have to leave your
You
stuff.
have to
belongs
leave your
with
stuff
the
there,
computer
yeah.
game.
Company,
Yeah.
CGI. I've got a limo in the long-term car park.
Oh, I remember the
Clearly,
limo.
you were privy to
What was
all
the limo,
breaks
Chris?
and
Can you remember?
advantages that life denied
We
poor
can't use
William
it, didn't we?
Doyle.
Did you keep
No,
the
I
limo
can't.
as well?
Sir, I think you should take a look at this.
No.
It's probably a Cadillac.
Meet your brother, Sebastian. Half-brothers, uterine. Same mother.
So
Yeah,
Craig
Chris
discovered
Craig's
your-
still with us today.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
Craig, say something about the fact that Chris is your brother.
It's just the ultimate insult. You know? To have him as my brother.
He's my brother. That's why you can get Dwarf.
That's why you look so alike.
Dwayne Dibley.
Yeah, this is where we see a bit of the red dwarf
big
cast.
and look, eh?
Yeah, this is where
This
we
is the
see
new
the
cast,
new
this
This
lot.
is
Oh,
element
right.
stuff for
See,
him,
it's meant
man.
to be the next generation. That's what they
Look.
joked with us about.
You risked your own neck and everybody else's just to save my life. You do that again and I'll kill you.
Take a chance.
This guy that look.
Hey! He must be in films now.
Yeah, now
he's
that's
gorgeous.
more like it.
Yeah.
If they were making a Red Dwarf in the 21st century, that's what it would be.
It would be, wouldn't it? Be like that.
It'd be, yeah.
But they made this one in the 20th
In the
century.
20th.
Well, they couldn't, yeah.
Glorious decade of total law enforcement.
Be a government informer. Betray your family and friends. Fabulous prizes to be won.
This was the underground.
This was the
car park,
underground
or
car
the-
park in Shepperton.
Shepperton, yeah.
Here it is.
Now, this was a very large limousine, I seem to remember. Of an American vintage, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was one of those ones you see.
Oh, yes.
Big sort of
Chris,
Buicky
talk
fellas.
us through the car.
I think it's a Cadillac.
Move, voters! Move 1 inch and I'll crush every bone in your body.
See, Jake Bullitt, you couldn't muck around with Jake. Ah, but look who he's up against. Nah, this
Lenny
is
Von
Lenny.
Dolan.
Lenny Von Dolan.
Of Twin Peaks fame.
Oh, yeah.
He just done Twin Peaks when this was.
That's right, he
made,
just did it. Yeah, and what's it? Rob was a big fan of the show, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You are under
Francis Barber got him to do
Well,
the
he
show.
was.
Barber?
Yeah,
Francis
Barber. He was shacked
Oh, I
up.
thought you said his
He was,
barber
he
got
was
him
staying
to
with
do
her.
it.
Well, he wasn't shacked up with it. He was staying in our house. Yeah, we're not trying to imply that there was any shacking going on.
Yeah.
Forgive me. You know me?
Extraordinary eyes he had, there, didn't he? Really intense
They were
eyes.
piercing, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
You can imagine if you looked at a girl and said whatever, they'd do it.
Oh, would they? Do you think so? With eyes
Well,
like that?
yeah, with eyes
Is
like
it
that.
all in the eyes, Dan? Is that
Oh,
what it
yeah.
is?
The eyes have it.
I've never got anywhere.
The eyes have it.
Is that his real moustache?
Yeah, you got me there.
No.
I'm not sure.
I don't
Change people, voter.
I don't think it was.
In what way?
You change them from being alive people to being dead people.
See,
To purify
see, these amazing blue
Yeah.
eyes and very dark hair and blue
That's
eyes.
a great
Yeah.
combination.
No, very good look at that.
the voter colonel.
So why is he
Just try
being
and
away?
picture him.
No,
Why?
is Dan in that picture?
There you
Hold on.
go.
There was some teeth.
There was some
teeth.
talking teeth there. Look. What's that? There's something out of the clangers, wasn't it?
It's the soup monster, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something out of the clangers.
The joke is the only thing you
It's
could see was
alien,
my
wasn't
fillings.
To renew yourself.
Oh, do you remember that little girl?
Yeah.
I've only ever seen this on screen because I.
Ah,
Cane
look, Jake,
assault.
see, do not
Cane assault.
muck around with Jake. Ah, here
Oh,
we
this
go.
is the car chase
just,
one.
yeah, we just flip back now.
Oh, I remember about the car chase one. Do you remember doing this car chase bit over and over and over and over and
Well, the
over and
seats
over and
collapsed,
over
we
and
fell
over
over, all kinds
and
of
over
stuff.
and over and trying to remember where everything was, and I drew you a little map.
Yeah,
I remember
that's
drawing
right.
a little
Oh,
map
we've
because
had a
I had
lot of-
nothing else to do in the episode, so
Yeah.
I drew you a little map.
Hello, for the 3,000th
So you could,
time,
You're
I'm
hit.
hallucinating. Can anyone hear me?
So you knew where to go.
Speed bumps. Chicane!
Comedy time. Chicane.
Look at the size of the steering wheel that Craig's got.
Yeah.
One moment it's off an MGB
bus.
sports car, the next
Yeah.
it's a bus.
We're going through it.
Perfectly choreographed.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's because I drew a little map and I was standing there holding it up.
That's right.
I remember.
You were telling us what was going to happen next.
Think we can make it? It's
I only
racing.
keep saying that because I didn't have anything in this episode otherwise.
Well,
He's throwing it. I always do that when I'm drunk. Do you do that, Chris?
All the time.
Bit painful, this,
hey,
wasn't
you
it?
know what?
Painful, yeah.
Absolutely
It's
brilliant.
for Marcel Marceau's
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Winding down the window.
Yeah, oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
He opened the sunroof, look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pump the limo.
Remember?
Steering wheel
But then
work
you,
is just...
you do that thing of standing
brilliant.
up and getting out of a car. You stand up first, then get out of the car.
Yeah,
then
That's
run
the
through
old-
the engine.
Run through the engine.
Yeah. Should have done a Starsky and Hutch over the roof.
Just sensational.
Burger bar.
I killed a
Now, where was this filmed? This
See,
is
that's
filmed.
good
This is filmed out the
lighting.
back of Shepperton as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One of the
That
studio
couldn't have been a
outbuildings.
real burger bar, though.
I think they made one specially.
Yeah, exactly.
There was actually people in there ordering
Burgers.
Burgers, yeah.
Nah.
This is a nightmare. I'm on the run from
As
the
relief
fascist
shot
police.
is a guy running up with a posi drive screwdriver taking it down, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some jets, some human wreckage.
It's needed on another show tomorrow morning. Get it out of here.
Now my best
On happy
about to
days.
get splattered with an android's brain. I'm off to you with a gun.
Yeah, count me in too.
Ditto. But there's only one bullet left.
Ah, we could all put our heads together and the bullet could go down the line.
Now, I mean,
Frequency. Can you hear me now?
Did somebody say something?
You're hallucinating. Put the gun down.
There we go.
I think I'm going to
I love
put
this
the gun
episode.
down.
That was great.
Yes, it was a very good
Yeah.
episode.
Forward 3 paces.
Once we knew we weren't all going to be replaced, we
Yeah.
relaxed
Yes,
into it, at least.
Well, he's cracking up.
I have a
Although-
strange compulsion to pick up this fire extinguisher and twist the release wheel.
Have you quite finished?
Don't try
being
this at home.
Yeah, don't do this at home, children.
don't
No,
try
it's
this
very
out.
bad.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know what came over me.
Jake Bullet. Look at him, eh?
Yeah, Jake, come on, shoot them. Come on, Jake, get it over with.
Okay.
No!
hallucinating. You're hallucinating.
Oh.
I thought you weren't going to make it. Welcome back to reality.
What happened?
Hey, see, that's the first time we used the title, I bet.
As a line
Back
in the
to
show,
reality.
You were about to
I don't know
commit
if we do that in
suicide,
any
just like
others.
the crew of the Esperanto.
And Hattie got it.
Stabiliser
Yeah.
saved you.
Yeah.
The lithium carbonate.
What, It's usually one of those.
See, lithium carbonate is a
Oh, you
classic
see.
mood stabiliser. I use it regularly when I go.
Yeah.
If I wake up in the morning feeling a bit, a bit jippy.
Yeah, just
out
sniff a
jumping,
few.
out with the old LC.
Out of the old fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Take Mr. Rimmer.
You sniff
Back
a
there, he
light
could no
bulb.
longer blame his failings and shortcomings on his parents because he shared an upbringing with you, sir.
Ah, a bit of philosophy here, a bit of psychology.
Yeah,
really, a bit
psychology,
of,
yeah.
Psychotherapy, really, I think,
Yeah.
to be more accurate.
Oh, well, mumbo jumbo.
Well, no, there's a lot of accurate group psychotherapy going on here.
It's my middle name.
And you, sir, you have always prided yourself on being a good man, a man of moral courage. So, when you thought you were a mass murdering
Delusioned
butcher in a
as he was.
totalitarian state, despair destined to drive you over the edge.
And with you, it was taking a human life?
Precisely.
I'm not doing Dibley. I am Rimmer.
I'm afraid so.
So, what happened to the despair squid?
I took care of that. Limpet mines. There's enough fried calamari out there to feed the whole of
Lovely
Italy.
bit of surround there.
Let's get out of here.
Flight coordinates programmed. Switching to pilot cooperation till we get
How
the
did it? I can't remember the very, very ending.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling Dwayne makes a reappearance somewhere, doesn't he?
Another series,
Another,
isn't it?
another episode.
Yeah.
Another series.
But what was the little sting in the end of this one? I can't remember. It's very intriguing.
Damn near wiped out everything on the entire planet. Spreading despair.
Damn.
It's just Craig doing a
Well,
pony
there isn't
monologue.
one.
Craig's pony monologue. Hey, Danny.
Sorry.
Hey, Dad, I don't like that, man. None of my monologues were pony.
We didn't
At
like
least
it
I
either.
had monologues.
Yeah.
I had monosyllables.
Hit the retros.
We're on our way, sir.
Wow, the old hit the retros.
Yeah.
We're on our way. It's a Star Trek-esque
Yeah,
type
it was.
ending.
Yeah.
We're on our way, sir.
We're on our way.
We're going
Take
to
it home,
we're off to a better place.
Yeah.
Timothy
Spall. No, he was very good fun, wasn't he?
Lenny.
Hey, well,
He was great.
Lenny was
And
great.
Stars.
Oh, that's
I
all.
probably
that
didn't
was
meet him because I wasn't on the location bit.
Well, thank you very much for
Bye,
watching
everyone.
Series 5. We hope you really enjoyed it.
That was series
That
5.
was
Series
Series
5.
five.
Made in
Series 5, if you've
1991.
Seen how much the cast, particularly myself, know little of the whole of Series 5, but
But
what's new?
it was sort of 13 years ago. I think we're
Yeah.
allowed to lose one or two memories, aren't
Our knowledge is allowed to be pony.
we? Yeah.
Yeah. But we're still there, kicking, Chris. You know? The only thing is now we all live in Notting Hill. And I can't get rid of them.
And it's bye-bye from Holly.
Bye-bye, everyone.